How's it going? Hello everybody, and welcome to the Strimstream. Today, we're playing video games. Yeah, we're playing video games. So I've got a really cool, exciting stream for you today. Just absolutely really exciting stuff we got going on today. First of all, I'm level 20 down here, so that's amazing. Look at that, level 20, holy guacamole. Super cool. But what does that mean? Well, for this character, it means I change a lot. I'm going to go over this build. It's kind of weird. I hit completionist, which means I can play whatever character I want, and now I have a character that does a lot of damage, and I don't entirely know where it comes from. In fact, I don't even understand how to figure that out. So let's just take a quick look. So for those of you that didn't see it last week, we're doing the Fighter Ranger Warlock build. What this build does is it uses a crossbow, and then it adds damage to the crossbow using mechanics that maybe shouldn't work, but they do. So that's important. So first, we're adding lightning damage to our crossbow shots with shocking arrows. To add it, we apply a bow, we turn on shocking arrows, you put on a crossbow, bing bang boom, there it stays, and you get the extra lightning damage. Scales with spell power, cool. Then, out of Warlock, from the Enlightened Spirit tree, we pick up Spiritual Retribution, 3d6 light damage that scales with spell power and ranged attacks, cool. So now we're applying all that damage on every single shot, and because I shoot multiple times, it works out really well. As well, we pick up from Kensai, Power Surge to get the psionic bonus to all ability scores, and know the angles to get that extra intelligence kicker on there, as well as Strike at the Heart for improved destruction, because it just seems like a good idea. So as a result, this character is intelligence based. I've got a crazy amount of spell power, like 283 light spell power. Like, what is that? That's madness. A lot of that comes from this Pansophic Circlet right here. It's a pretty cool item. As well, because I don't really care about spell failure chance, because my aura doesn't really do any damage, I'm wearing full plate, which means I get actual good physical and magical resistance rating because I'm a fighter. And I have high reflex save because it's based off my intelligence. So yeah, I don't know. Build seems interesting. But it takes another level, and it takes another dive off the deep end right here. We're doing Shirati Champion, okay? And we're doing Shirati Champion for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, it's a ranged weapon, right? And I'm trying to apply damage on each attack that's magical. Well, this 7% chance, 7% chance, 7% chance to apply an effect on all my attacks. If I'm using a repeater, that's multiple 7% chances every time I fire a burst. 7% chance to paralyze, 7% chance to produce a random effect, or D10's damage, or blah blah blah. There's so many numbers going up the screen, I can't even read them all, so I don't entirely know where the damage comes from. But monsters die really quick. As well, this character class has two interesting abilities. Number one is Otto's Whistler. Otto's Whistler, if an enemy is moving, they start dancing. What's really cool about Otto's Whistler is that if they're moving and they start dancing, they count as helpless. Same thing with Pin. If an enemy is not moving, they count as helpless if I land Pin on them. So I use Sense Weakness to up my damage against the helpless targets, which seems pretty good. And then I also use Grim Precision to bypass fortification so I can crit more often with my actual attacks. I've considered using Energy Burst from Draconic Incarnation. I don't know if I am going to use that, but I've considered it. And then I just use Rejuve Cocoon because it's Rejuve Cocoon. How could you not use it? And then finally we've got Audience with the Queen, which is really good. So the character's pretty interesting. Does a lot of damage. So we're going to be doing some crazy stuff. This character's pretty strong, so we're going to go straight into Epic Elite. And we're going to be doing the entire LOD saga. So yeah, this character doesn't, I've got good gear on because I've been saving it up. So, I've got my Golden Guile, if that counts as good gear. Or I've got the Festering Mummy Wraps just because I want the extra 1 intelligence. Although I guess I don't actually need it right now. But I do have some items I saved up. I managed to find something like this, Insightful Intelligence. It's kind of about stacking the right items to get the damage going. So I'm just going to grab my buffs here and open up a group, and we're going to get started. And you'll see how crazy some of the damage is right here. Also, for all of my Canadian brethren, happy Canadian Thanksgiving. I hope you all have a absolutely wonderful holiday. That's right, holiday stream. It is Canadian Thanksgiving for those that don't know. And you can't go wrong with Canadian Thanksgiving. It's a magical holiday. It's one of the most magical times of the year. What am I doing here? Oh, that's what I wanted. And we're going to do the entire saga, Epic Elite, because why not? So LODEE saga. Lords of Dust. Lords of Dust. There we go. I'm going to put one of... How many quests is this? 15? 12? 4, 4, 4, 5. Or 3. 15. Cool. And then we update it as we go along. People will join. People like doing Lords of Dust Epic Elite, so that's kind of good. Oh, man. So what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? It's Canadian Thanksgiving. I unfortunately am not spending Thanksgiving with my family. My family is out of town, you know, so I'm not over there doing like the family thing and the holiday thing. Instead, I'm sitting here at my computer screen playing the video game for you fine folks out there, for the folks at home. That rejuve cocoon. Oh, I should quicken this, shouldn't I? Oh, I don't have quicken because I didn't take it, did I? Well, I hope that doesn't matter. Oh, let's go into Lords of Dust. But yeah, so this character's interesting. It works really well. I get a couple buffs that I actually layer on myself. Like so. Ooh, we got already one guy who wants to join. Bam. HTML5 video beta. Oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to use my Colors of the Queen thing first. Audience of the Queen. I forgot that this is what I do. I've just hit 20 today, so I'm very not used to this character. So by doing that, I get a buff, like 100 extra life, which is kind of cool. And then I just gotta shoot stuff. And because nothing's moving, I can suddenly pin them in place, so now you're seeing I'm doing all that extra damage there. And yeah, like I said, I don't know entirely where my damage comes from, but it comes from somewhere, because the monsters are dying relatively fast. Also, they get paralyzed a lot from Nerve Venom, which only has a 7% chance to go, but that's fine. Hey, look. She's dodging all my shit. No. Woo. Hey, that guy got pinned. Cool. Welcome. See, I don't know. I just gotta shoot stuff, and I try to use Pin and Whistler whenever I can, and that's basically how this character works. Just for some reason, the woman in back is the one that's dancing. Everything is stunned here, so I'm just gonna... I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where the damage comes from, because sometimes I can just rip through enemies like it's nothing, and then other times I can't. So I'm still not sure where the damage comes from in this build, but it's fine. The nice thing about it is I'm decently tanky because I've got a good amount of physical and magical resistance rating. I've got high saves. You know, do a fairly large amount of damage. Welcome. Hey, we already got a full group. Not even done the first room, and we have a full group already. Look at that. Yeah, man. It's an interesting build. I don't know entirely how it's going to work out in the end, but eh. And apparently I can get many people to dance at the same time, which is kind of cool, because I have improved precise shot, which lets me shoot through targets, and also fire 3 shots, and each shot applies the dance. That's the other cool thing about using a repeating crossbow to try to do a lot of the stuff here. That's in this enhancement tree. Because I'm using a repeating crossbow to do everything, I fire 3 shots anytime I try to use a special shot. So like Pin and Whistler here, or if I use Inferno shot, anything like that, I fire 3 actually. Goodbye, doggy. The problem is I can't actually pay attention to where the damage comes from, because I'm going to have too many numbers coming up on my screen. I honestly don't know. It's kind of neat. Oh, man. This music is way too loud. There we go. Music was too loud. But yeah, so the build's kind of cool. I don't know how well it's going to do in, like, endgame, but the fact that I can just, like, hit a guy with pin, and now, because he's pinned, he counts as helpless, so all myself, and my allies can just start ripping through this guy and doing a lot of damage. Look at the damage. Hundreds of damage per shot. And I'm only level 20, right? Day pumpkin. Oh, I actually did carve out a pumpkin. I will be posting it later on my Twitter. I carved out a DDO pumpkin, for the record, for Halloween. I carved out a DDO pumpkin. Not just any pumpkin, a DDO pumpkin. So it's super duper cool. I like it anyway. You're poison. Yeah, it's an interesting build. I like the fact that I just get these constant paralysis effects that just come out of nowhere, which is kind of neat. But yeah, it's even hard to comment on because it's not like there's any special way I have to play it. The build basically plays itself. I just shoot my spells at the monsters and they take enough damage. Which is kind of cool. I don't know, what else is going on? I released a new guide today, for those of you who were wondering. I did a stream over the weekend where I talked about how I was going to release a guide. I did release that guide, which is pretty cool. And as a result of releasing the guide, there's now a new... Oh, hey, Meredith is here. As a result of me releasing that guide, there's now a new guide out there for Artificer. So it's either at the top of the DDO Artificer forums, or if you like, I can actually post it here. I probably should just post it here. I did post a new Artificer guide, though. It's in just as much detail as the Arcane Archer guide. Try to make it just as funny, and it's essentially explaining how to play melee Artificer, which is kind of what we do. Because why would you play as a ranged Artificer when you can play as a melee Artificer? No, reflex saves. I'll pull it up here so you can show it to you guys. Trying to do too many things at the same time. My brain, I don't have the willpower. I post a new guide today. Here we go. Just give you a link to that. It's a good guide. At least I think so. Man, look at all the damage that's going on here. But I posted a new guide. It's for Artificer. Talks about how to play melee Artificer. Melee Artificer is pretty good. I did play a build like that. In fact, it's more specific than melee Artificer. It's a Mega Man X Artificer guide. The idea, the idea behind the build is that you play a character that looks and plays like Mega Man X. And Mega Man X is a pretty cool character from the Mega Man series of games. Well, the Mega Man X series of games, actually. Mega Man X is not in the Mega Man games. Ooh, that guy's immune to dancing. What an asshole. So once he stops moving, I'm still trying to learn how to do this, to get the pin and everything going for the helpless damage. But the idea is you get, you use a combination of weapons, so like long swords, or sorry, not long swords. Yeah, I am pretty biased. I love that the 18-second pin causes them to not be able to move, then also be considered helpless, so like they can't do anything to me. Kind of goofy. I do forget to put a lot of my buffs on, though. I will say that. Hey, I got a kill. Hey, and I pinned that guy. Pin and Whistler is so dumb. These abilities are amazing. That's essentially the bread and butter of of a character like this. The damage is supposed to go up as like a higher level. I don't exactly know how, but I don't know. I don't even know how I do damage right now. But yeah, so the idea behind the build is you get a bastard sword, you put it in one hand, use a rune arm in the other hand. And rune arms are pretty good. They have a lot of interesting effects. So they scale a lot harder than I think most people realize, because they scale off both spell power, which is obviously very, very good and not too difficult to get on an Artificer type character. But they scale off spell power. Haha, you can't move, Jarlath. Sucka. But they also scale off of spell crit, which is interesting. And their DC, their save, is based off your evocation. So if you play as like an Arcanotech, where you have a lot of evocation DCs and spells, you might think to yourself, well, then it would be a good idea if you're playing with a lot of the spells to also focus on the rune arms. The problem with using rune arms as like a primary weapon source, of course, is that if you're using it with spells as well, you can't reach the top of the Arcanotech tree and the top of the Battle Engineer tree. And Battle Engineer is one of the best things you can do for rune arm usage.
The ritual is underway, and the silver flame is powerless to stop it. So pray.
The reason I say it's the best thing is because, one, you can keep your rune arms charged, and it doesn't slow you down. Being slow, obviously, is one of the worst things you can do in this game, because everyone runs so fucking fast, and everyone's just running everywhere. But even more so than just that, rune arms have a stable charge tier. The stable charge tier is 1 for rune arms, which is basically where they will charge to while you're running around. And so because stable rune arm charge tier is just 1 to start off, what it means is that if you have anything that's, say you want to use like your higher charge tier on your rune arm, it'll take you a really, really long time for you to actually use that because it takes so long to actually charge. Starting it at tier 3 is way better. You were soft compared to the game voiceover dialogue? Oh, like from what's his face? Maybe I'll change that. I should be able to change that though. Sorry about that if my voice is a little bit quiet. I'm a little tired today. I've been sick the past couple of days, and then I spent like hours writing that guide, which was kind of like mentally exhausting, I guess. So there we go. I'm just gonna complain. Bitch and complain. That's what I can do. Ooh, man, look at that healing. Oh, I have to keep that in mind. Queen's Loathing. I didn't know I could do that to that guy. I like how I just apply all these random effects. Like you see random damage numbers come up and stuff. It's kind of neat. But yeah, so I don't know. It's a pretty good build. The idea is that because you're using melee, you can still focus on spell damage, but the Battle Engineer enhances your melee while also enhancing damage from specifically the Rune Arm. Now the reason why having it specifically coming from the Rune Arm is kind of important for the build is because Rune Arm usage is very interesting. Doesn't actually interrupt anything you do. So if you have a Rune Arm in one hand and you're trying to fire your Rune Arm, you can be swinging, you can be dancing, you can be casting the spell, and midway through your cast, it doesn't matter, you fire off that Rune Arm, and it's going to work every time. And it's not going to interrupt, it's not going to cut into it or anything like that. Which I really like. And it means that you can kind of combine effects, so you can be swinging your weapon while also firing. It doesn't slow down your attack speed, like a lot of things in this game that actually do kind of interrupt the flow of combat. So for example, if I'm trying to swing and cast a spell, it won't work for me. Man, arcane spell failure. Arcane spell failure. Whereas with the Rune Arm, you can do it without any interruption. So it does require a lot of button mashing to kind of maximize your damage, but I do highly recommend you check it out. The amount of damage increase you can get from something like that is kind of crazy, actually. Cool. Oh, I'm not done with this. How you done? And now I have 75 energy resist? Whoa, that's crazy. I'm trying to shoot this priestess back here. I don't know if I'm actually doing anything or hitting anybody. There's like a stunned spider over here. That's the other problem with the the colors of the queen. You can never tell when you're actually doing something, you know? All of a sudden monsters just stop moving and they get affected by stuff or their stats go down. Oh man.
Dusty remains lie in front of a sealed stone door on the far side of the room.
Oh god. Yeah, so it's an interesting build to play as. It does do pretty competitive damage. Like, it's not going to be a tier 1, you know? You're not going to be comparable to a dual-wielding ranger or a paladin with 5 levels of ranger or something like that, you know? It is its own build, it's its own thing. But, keeping that in mind, it's not in any capacity a bad build. It gives you more than just melee damage, it also gives you access to a wide variety of different types of melee damage. So, I'm talking about, when I talk about different types of melee damage, I mean you have elemental damage on top of your melee damage, so you can kind of get around certain monsters that have damage reduction, things like that, which is kind of interesting. Man, the damages. Look at everything dancing! Ha Otto's Whistler, man, Otto's Whistler. I have no idea how this fucking works. It's really entertaining. Look at that! Look at that! Everything just dies or disappears. It's amazing. Is it gonna start moving? I don't know. I'm just gonna start firing and stuff. Yeah, so it's a cool build. I highly recommend you give it a shot and check it out.
Are intently prying dragon shards from the cavern wall.
Posting epic levels. Right after each yard, posting LFM. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I did not mean to disappoint you so bad. I had no choice. I play on Argo sometimes. I play on Argo because I do have some fantastic cool friends on Argo. The Blood Assassins fantastic guild. I highly recommend if you get one in your group. They're really cool guys. I know because I'm one of them. Yeah, Bash Fist, I'm just tanking the whole world. He doesn't even care. But yeah, I don't know. I've been playing around doing quite a few things. I'm missing something. Who am I missing? Hold on. Oh god. But yeah, the build is pretty cool. Yeah, I've been playing a lot on Argo. I kind of showcased it a bit last week, and I was going to post a video on my own YouTube channel. It was Guild Raid Day, so we did Legendary Elite Tempest Spine, we did Haunted Zoriat, and we did Shroud. And I like all of those raids. Actually, I really like Tempest Spine because it's this goofy world where everything one-shots you. Like every single thing in the entire goddamn dungeon is just gonna kill you in one hit. And it's really entertaining to try to fight against or play with.
Flickering torchlight illuminates a curiously well-worn path.
Ooh, hey, look, that guy's paralyzed. Like I don't one-shot stuff, okay? That's really important with this build. I'm not one-shotting these hellhounds, okay? But I am hitting the hellhounds, and I'm doing a fair bit of damage, which is kind of neato. I don't know how much damage I'm doing in comparison to everybody else, but
This comfortably furnished nook is empty. Whoever lives
kinda
here
neato.
must be somewhere deeper.
I'm doing
in
good though.
Kyber.
I'm like second on kills, which is kind of neat. Man, I'm like weirdly tired today. Like fatigued? Not like exhausted. Oh, I forgot. That's why I'm missing out on something really important. My weekly gold roll. Oh god, I forgot to do the weekly gold roll. By the way, if you guys want to earn yourself 1,000 experience doing something like the weekly gold roll, you can get that fantastic ability to do your weekly gold roll and earn 1,000. Count them, 1,000 experience points. I know. And make the ladies go wild for your 1,000 experience points. All you gotta do is take your credit card, put it in your computer. I don't know how. I think you put it in the back. There's like a slot where your graphics card is supposed to go. Anyway, put your card in there. Send some money up to the turbine people, and bam, bing, bang, boom. Look at that. You got 1,000 experience points just like me. So you can go tell all your friends and say, hey, I saw Strimstream get 1,000 XP on stream from his gold roll, and I did too. So it's pretty cool. You can like join on the 1,000 experience point team. Man, that was really disappointing. I wanted to get something cool. And 2 gold seal elixirs of improved healing is like not cool. So, but yeah, you can get some cool stuff by doing your gold roll. I don't know. I've gotten some neat stuff. Never anything really amazing though. You can get like, I think you can get like +5 tomes and shit, which is kind of neat. Those tomes are really good. I don't know where the damage comes from here. I do a lot though. I'm currently second on top kills, and I'm level 20 with no, I don't have the crazy items yet. I don't have the epic fatal flaw or the legendary ring of prowess or the epic pansophic circlet or any of that garbage. The other part of the thing, the reason I'm doing a lot of damage before other people is because I do have a crossbow. Allows me to do stuff at range, which a lot of other players cannot do. Which is important. Can't forget about that. Nice thing as well about auto spin and whistlers, they don't cost any mana, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Andy Josh Hall. I did not mean to disappoint you with Crane Nail of Him. I don't always play on Argo. I'm working on a build actually that I'm going to be doing on Argonessim. And when I actually am able to do it, it requires certain material components. When I am able to do the build, I will be doing it, and we will be doing it live on the DDO stream, and it'll be very cool. But yeah, I gotta wait. I can't spoil it though. I can't spoil what the build is. If you know me, you know exactly what that build is, but I can't spoil it here, not yet. It's gonna be a wicked surprise. I will say this about the build though. The one build that I'm planning on doing, really cool build. It does cost $40, which is a lot of money for a character build. I will not be posting a guide of that character. Well, actually, I might post a guide of that character build, but I will put like a disclaimer at the top that says, by the way, this build does cost $40. I don't know how good it's going to be either. I have no confirmation about this build, whether it's actually going to be good or not. So it could potentially be like a $40 investment that doesn't actually go anywhere. I have no idea. We'll find out though. I really love nerve poison. The fact this stuff just gets paralyzed and can't move. It's kind of neat.
The heat grows more
Double
oppressive
collectible.
as the path drops deeper into the heart of Kyber.
Doing more epic stuff is really important. Low-level epic stuff gives you good collectibles that you need for a lot of different crafts. Ooh, man, look at that. Everybody's helpless. I feel like Shrody's the best. I don't know if this character would do better in Legendary Dreadnought because I'm all about the on-hit damage. But maybe it would. I just really like Nerve Venom. I feel like Nerve Venom is too good to kind of pass up. And also the fact that I have 3 different spells that can make targets helpless as well. Pin making somebody helpless, Nerve Venom, and also Otto's Whistler. It's just kind of too good to pass up, you know? Like everything's just standing still, so I can just boom, fire some crossbows into him and get him helpless. Hey, Flame Fang, what's going on, Flame Fang? I can't make him helpless though, unless I get a nerf venom off. There we go, stunning blow. Perfect. That's what I wanted.
Flame Fang is banished in a burst of heat and fire, snarling in anger.
Yeah. Anybody play any cool builds? Anything exciting or unique? I mean, like when I look around at the builds that are with me, I've got, you know, pure warlock, fighter with 2 levels of monk for whatever reason. Blade forged fighter with 2 levels of monk. I have no idea what this guy's build is. That's really interesting. It means he had to get rid of that paladin level. Right before the monk changes too, so that's kind of weird. It's also something we'll talk about today, will be the monk changes. We have a guy who's doing warlock just to get the sun elf, fast life. Ghoul Jewel's not here. And then we have Bash Fistum, tank extraordinaire. 3 fighter, 15 paladin, cleric 2. Dude can't die to anything, which is kind of cool. I mean, he might be able to die to like Swordjack, but that's all that I know he will die to. I don't think he can actually die to anything else. Yeah, also, for those of you that did not know, there's actually some changes going to be coming to the game soonish? I don't know. I don't actually have a time frame because I don't work at the company Turbine, contrary to popular belief. But there are going to be some changes coming to the game. I'm going to put the shrine here so I can get my Audience of the Queen back. And the changes are oriented towards the monk, which is kind of cool. So they talked about it on Wednesday of last week. And by they, I mean Cordovan of Turbine Entertainment on here on the DDO stream. Showcased some of the changes that are coming through to monks, and I think that's it. I don't know if there's anything else in there, so I'm not going to talk about anything else in case you don't want to go against NDA because I am on the Players Council. But there were some cool things happening with them monk changes. So monks are going to become a little bit more versatile. The main one, ooh, Pleasure of the Queen, +4 to all ability scores. Can't complain about that. Look at that. 55 intelligence, baby. But there are going to be some changes coming through to monks. Generally good changes. Versatility changes. Things like hand wraps are a big one. If you've ever played monks before, you know that hand wraps are interesting because you'll read skills and they will say, oh, by the way, it doesn't work with hand wraps. And you go, well, why doesn't it work with hand wraps? Hand wraps are super cool, and they should work with hand wraps because I want these abilities to work. I agree with you, and so did Turbine, so they decided to take a bunch of time to fix hand wraps. So hand wraps will be functioning as a weapon. So what this means for you, it depends on your build. Because hand wraps function as a weapon, it means that things that affect unarmed combat, I think they'll also be coded to affect hand wraps, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But what it does mean is that it opens up a lot of different build opportunities. All of a sudden, man, look at those dancing guys. Oh, I love it. But it opens up a lot of build opportunities all of a sudden for anyone looking to use, for example, out of Legendary Dreadnought. I'll move this over so I can keep playing while I look at this. Anyone out of Legendary Dreadnought would like to use Pulverizer. Because Pulverizer affects weapons, not hand wraps. Hand wraps will be considered weapons, so it'll make it so you can punch guys with an extra +1 insight bonus on your critical threat range. It also means it's easier to expand the critical threat range of hand wraps, considering hand wraps will have a separate critical threat range from unarmed weapons, which is really, really good. Hand wraps having a separate critical threat range means that you can actually have hand wraps that potentially, like out of a new quest, that maybe have a ×3 base on them, which is kind of cool. So it does open up a lot of possibilities, and that's just for unarmed monks. And we're not even getting to the fact that, you know, out of Ninja Spy, if they're making changes that if you have any weapons that you use that are centered, you'll be able to use your dexterity to hit and damage them. So that's kind of cool. So it means to say you're playing as a monk that wants to use bastard swords, and you got some fighter in there, and you can make it so that you can take the top tier, one with the blade, so that you can use your bastard sword while centered. Well, all of a sudden you can actually use dex to hit and damage with that bastard sword because it's a centered weapon. Very cool stuff. It's going to open up, like I said, possibilities for different builds that did not exist before, which I always love. One of the guys that actually works at Turbine, Steelstar, is fantastic. And he has a really good mindset about it, which is that they don't build just for builds that exist. They also build for builds that don't exist. And adding new effects in the game that don't exist before, I think is a really great way to kind of promote build diversity and really make people think about how they want to build their characters in the future. So I'm excited to see see some more stuff like that in the future. As well, the thing that I'm really excited about are the Henshin Mystic changes. For those that know me, I played Henshin Mystic to death because I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm doing with my life and I'm irresponsible. So I played a ton of Henshin Mystic. Pure Monk, 20 levels of Monk, and I did it with a Flame Blade build to try to maximize Wisdom to hit damage. Well, all that can go out the window. You still need Wisdom, but they're making it not scale with spell power, so which means you can actually focus on melee. So you can kind of use melee and Monk at the same time, as opposed to trying to use spell power in Monk, which just makes it feel a bit more cohesive, more key generated when you hit stuff. It just feels smoother animations on the attacks. I'm very excited for Henshin Mystic. It's going to be pretty awesome. Turned into a two-handed paladin and decided to compare Carnifex. The crafting middle and Carnifex got wrecked. Oh yeah, man! Caneth crafting is fantastic. I love the new Caneth crafting. I use it all the time. It's really not that hard to actually get into either. Spinner. It's not hard to get into the new Caneth crafting either, and I'll kind of detail it. Leveling up your Caneth crafting is pretty easy. You just decon some stuff, and then you craft some stuff. You only need to craft the level shards. You don't need to craft the effect shards. So leveling doesn't cost you any of your actual hard to get components, which are the collectibles. Now, gathering collectibles can be pretty tedious, but that's okay, because sometimes, it would be no fun if nothing in the game actually took time to actually accomplish or acquire. Yeah, you got the dancing stun. I'll show off a couple items here that I have actually Caneth crafted that I really like. Gotta kill this Rakshasa Lord, though. Who's pinned, so he's taking bonus damage. Yeah. What do I got here? Caneth crafted. Check this. Hardy Mountain Plate. So it's Con 9, Parrying 4, Healing Amp 39. That I crafted myself with Caneth crafting. That's a really goddamn good item, so I really like that. I've also got a cloak that gives me intelligence and spell sight, and it has an augment slot, which I like. And I have bracers that give me resistance, fortification, and sheltering, which is also pretty good.
The spiders are devouring the flames, absorbing them into their bodies as they attack.
You know if Ninja Spy Touch of Death is going to be a multi-selector? I don't. I do not know that. I don't know if there's I don't know if there are official Lamania patch notes out yet. I don't think so though. So I'll have to look into that. I don't know if there are actual patch notes out for it.
You find yourself unable to move.
You mean for range, so you can actually use Touch of Death at range? I'm not sure. I know Ninja Spy is the. Oh yeah, I gotta turn this down.
Finally done my bidding, vassals. I see that you have brought me the dragon shards that she needs.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure. I feel like maybe. Shurikens are weird because Monk Thrower builds have been good for a long time, but I don't know anything about Monk Thrower builds. I'm gonna be honest. I've never actually played one, so. Yeah, I have no idea. Actually, I wanted to clarify something. Something I said before that I was completely, absolutely wrong about. This is really important. I've said this before, but I'm wrong. I have rescinded my statement. If you take past lives, just to get this out of the way, from completionists, it gives you +2 to all feats and ability scores. I thought that actually helped you pick new feats, because it just says +2. It does not help you with allocating towards feats. They changed it because there was a way you could abuse it by taking completionist, taking a bunch of feats, and then swapping out completionist for something else. So, completionist does not help you with your requirements towards feats. So don't take it if it's oh man, I'm going to be a little bit under on my dex requirement for something. You need that dex requirement. You can't skip it with completionist. I was wrong about that. But I don't know if Touch Death is going to do that. I do know that Ninja Spy is getting a lot of really cool stuff. They're getting melee power all over the place, because they're adding a bunch of melee power to stuff like Henshin Mystic. They might as well add it to actually, they're supposed to be more lethal enhancement trees like Ninja Spy, which is kind of cool. So there'll be more melee power for you to play with in those builds. As well, there's more scaling off of melee power. Ninja Spy gets Ninja Poisons. I believe this is going to scale off melee power as well. Oh, I can't make this guy dance? It's not fair. Yeah. I am just not really sure about the Shuriken build. I didn't really look into the Shuriken build or think about it when I was doing my comments about the Monk. I left when me and the other council members were allowed to look at some of the changes to Monk. I completely left myself out of the discussion of the the Shintao and the Ninja Spy because I don't know how they work. I've never played them before, no idea, so I don't want to like make comments and be like, well, I think this should be like this when I've never played one. And I honestly, it's not that I don't care, it's that I don't want to like, start telling people how they should be playing their character when I don't know how to do it myself. Let's just eat a Lost Fool there. Ghoul Drool is a staff build? What on earth? That's pretty nifty. I have no idea what he does, though. Yeah, so I don't know if it actually works for coup de grace. I'd have to take a look at some of the changes. Also, some people were acting relatively disappointed with some of the changes that were shown on Wednesday. Don't worry, there is more to the monk. When the full patch notes actually come through, that'll be in a readable format. You'll be able to see more, or the full kind of detail, or full set of details and changes that are going into the monk. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. I really like that I can make stuff dance whenever I feel like it. Hey, Spinner of Shadows, I'm not going to fight that. Ooh, and a piece of candy, too. I don't know how shuriken builds work. I know the idea behind a shuriken build is you throw like 1,000,000 shurikens, but that is literally the entirety of my knowledge of shuriken builds. Like I said, I know you throw 1,000,000, because you can throw extra shurikens based on your dexterity as a monk and also as a drow, and that stacks with double strike or double shot, so you get a lot. And it's not so much that it stacks, it's more so that it like compounds together. Get out of here, Spinner. Get out of here. I'm gonna light a torch. Because I can. Never played the shuriken build. I knew a couple things about shuriken build. Like, I know that the best shuriken in the game is the Snowstar, because of a lack of understanding of what makes weapons good. If you are using anything but the Snowstar, make sure you swap out to the Snowstar when you're doing your shuriken build. The Snowstar is extremely, extremely powerful. There's a couple reasons for why the Snowstar is powerful. It's not just like, oh, it's just a good weapon. It's because it has a better critical profile than any other shuriken in the game, because it crits on a, I believe it's an 18 to 20 and a ×3, whereas every other shuriken does not, and it does a D4 damage, whereas every other shuriken is a D2. So having double the base damage is really important. So even though Snowstar looks like it does less damage than something like, what was it, like Dawnstar from that new chain, from the Archon chain, or what's that other one? Not Dawnstar. Is it Dawnstar? Or like a Thunderforge Shuriken or something like that. It actually is better for the to use the Snowstar, which sounds weird. It is kind of weird actually, but I don't know. It's the way, that's the way the maths work out. So I'm really glad there are very smart people out there that make very good builds and kind of pick up on things like that, because you would think that, oh, I'm just going to pick up the highest level weapon. But that's why I like the idea of weapon diversity. Ninjutsu is only on melee? Okay. I'm not entirely sure.
A feeling of dread overwhelms
Yo man, thrower builds do crazy damage. I've seen some of those goddamn guys use... No, Snowstar. It's the best shuriken in the game. What's happening? There's nothing happening here. Did we really clear everything that fast? There's no monsters to fight? But yeah, Snowstar is the best one. Yeah. I don't, like I said, I don't really know how all that stuff works. I know the throwers do hilarious damage when they're in Fury of the Wild, because you throw so many shurikens, and because you throw so many, you can have like 13 adrenaline procs at the same time. Because if you throw 3 shurikens, but then each of them double strike because you have 10,000 stars going, or double shot, you're throwing 6 shurikens. So you throw 6 shurikens. Yeah, we'll have to see about that one. I am not entirely sure. I would love to be more specific. I just can't be.
Cries the Spinner of Shadows.
Yeah, man. Look at the pew pew. Look at this. This is like, isn't this just fun to watch? God. The problem is I don't get any of my on-hit effects on this. This is a weird thing. Because you're attacking the spinner, it technically doesn't count as a hit. And because it doesn't technically count as a hit, it won't proc things like Legendary Dreadnought's Blitz. But it also doesn't apply any of my on-hit damage, which is really dumb. So it means my damage is really low, because you can kind of see how much extra damage I get from my on-hit effects. I call it on-hit effects because that's what I'm used to. Yeah, if it doesn't work, I mean, I'm sure there is some kind of equivalent, but I might look into it. Yeah, the reason I say on-hit effects is because that's what I'm just like used to from other games, where you have it applies an extra effect when I attack with my regular normal attack. On hit. I had somebody ask me like what on hit meant when I like tried to explain the build to them. Like, what does on hit mean? Like, I don't get it. Dance, Hezru, dance! Monkey. God, that feels good. Unfortunately, I don't have good damage, and I don't have anything else like that. My plan is at some point to get like an epic fatal flaw, and then toss a gem of good in that. But that's way down the road. I don't have the epic fatal flaw yet. I'm only level 20, so bear in mind. There are some great abilities I will be getting later. A good example of a great ability I will be getting later. A die flame meter. Oh, I can't get it. A great example of a great ability I get later that I don't have right now is combat archery. I get at level 21, which adds an extra +1 W to my standard shot, giving me more physical damage. Helpless. Love how fast this guy dies. No, he doesn't count as dancing because he teleported onto me and stopped moving. What a jerkhole. Nope. I don't want to deal with that. I also like that I have that little dinky aura that still goes off and hits stuff. Yeah. Yeah, man. That is actually pretty cool. I'm curious though. You said, Andy, you said you're doing or Mr. Andy Josh Hall, you said you TR'd in a two-handed fighter paladin and you created a two-handed falchion. Why exactly did you use a falchion? That's kind of what I'm really curious about. Not that falchions are bad. I just have never heard of anyone just deliberately using a falchion. So what's the thinking behind the falchion there? It's just because like maybe it's like a better low-level weapon than like a great axe because it's got the better critical profile for the low level. Like what's the kind of thought process going on going on there behind using the falchion? I'm curious, man. Don't leave me hanging. I gotta know. Because I'm like the build guy. Again, it's not like I don't understand the concept. Like, I can see why you would want to use the falchion. Clearly it's because it has a better critical profile for lower levels. That's all I want to know. Also, I really should be using my force arrows here because everything is immune to lightning. Yeah. Oh, Spinner Shadows. I'm not dealing with that. Good, he's got the Intimidate going. Woo. Goodbye, spiders. The nice thing is if I also fire Pin, the first shot pins them. No! Oh, I failed my web save. 5 plus 45 is not enough. What? My hubris. I thought I could just make it through because my reflex save was so good. Oh, shit. Okay, roll a 20. No, roll a 20 on that strength check. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm just going to be careful about these webs. Exactly, it's a two-handed scimitar. So I understand why you would use a falchion. But it just seems like the reason why people use Khopesh instead of scimitar is because Khopesh has a ×3 critical, and critical multiplier is really king when it comes to damage. I wasn't sure if it was like a specific I don't know, a falchion build, like if there's some kind of cool synergy. There's also no real good falchions, I don't think. Damn it, I need one more. God damn it. I need one more crystal. I gotta get one more crystal. Yeah, because it's what it's a D8 and it's 18 to 20. So with improved crit, you're getting pretty good. Give me all them crystals.
She will
be here soon.
And I will be free of this place forever.
Uh-oh. Rest in pieces, Mr. Turtloid. Okay, I'm coming. Coming with the raised dead. Where is he?
The last ward
Oh,
ignites.
well, I
Brilliant
can't come in
light
with the
fills
raised
the
dead.
cavern.
I'm coming.
The spinner of shadows shouts.
Okay, you got the raise. Good.
Not defeat. Once again, you are held in an
Yeah, 2d4.
irresistible web
Yeah,
of
so it's
force.
better than a d8, but 2d4. So it's essentially just like the scimitar. On a paladin, I can see that kind of working because you bump it up to a ×3 pretty easily. So it wouldn't be that bad. Now, I don't know if they... I do also have some new builds for paladins as well that I've been thinking of. The problem now is because I'm completionist, I just have all these builds going through my minds, man. It's just like, oh shit, I can do this crazy thing because I get these extra stats, and oh shit, I can do this. It's like, oh, I don't know what to take as a feat on this character. I guess I'll just take +2 to all stats and skills from the completionist feat, which is kind of cool. Oh, my game froze. Yeah. Are there any good falchions out there? I know there's like falchions, and I know they also look sick. That's one of the other things that are great about falchions, is that they have a really cool like weapon model. I love the look of falchions because they've got that like really hooked blade, but I just don't know. Are you coming in at the end of the Strimstream?
Replies the
I don't know, you can.
shadows. The drow brought them to me. Just as you
Oh,
said.
I am. Apparently I'm very quiet with the microphone. Let's turn this shit up. There we go. Maybe this should be a little bit better, so you should be able to hear me. Maybe? I don't know. I don't ask these questions. I expect answers. Are you coming in at the end of the Strimstream? Well, if you can pop through my door or my window, then yes. If you know where I live and you can find me and break into my house, then yes, you can come in. You'd have to track me down, so. Man, you guys gotta tell me when there's a problem. I'm not the viewer, right? Like, it's not like you're watching a TV show. Like, I can physically react to when you tell me stuff. Like, if you're like, dumbass, turn your mic up. I'm right here. Just use your words to hurt my feelings, and also to tell me what to do. I'm like a monkey. I'm basically dancing for your entertainment. Let's do Beyond the Rift. Right, and I have no problems with that. Like, I have no qualms with being like a monkey dancing for entertainment. Also, if you're wondering, how do you skip that cinematic? Just hit the I key. It opens up your inventory and it skips the cinematic. Works every time. There we go. Better audio quality. Oh god, I gotta seek out Elminster. I don't want to do that. Oh, how much longer are you streaming? Oh, I'll be on till 10 o'clock. So you got 2 hours and 10 minutes. Oh my god. Screw you, man. I'm streaming for another 2 hours and 10 minutes. So if you want to spend more time with Strimtom, then you pick the right time. If you don't want to spend more time with Strimtom, screw you, man. Go. Why are you trying to hurt my feelings? I try real hard. So yeah. Let's skip the song. But yeah. No, this build's pretty cool. It's working out. I don't know where the damage is. Oh, I also put completionist in here. Completionist, yeah. 10/03/2016. For the record, though, for the people that are talking about monk builds, okay? Monk's pretty cool. And there's going to be a lot of cool changes coming through. To prove to you guys that I'm excited for the changes, I myself am going to be, the moment I get the opportunity, I will be reincarnating and I'll be playing a pure Henshin Mystic Monk to see how it compares to the previous Henshin Mystic Monk. The last Henshin Mystic Monk I played, I wanted to tear my hair out of my skull, and it was a very stressful experience, and it wasn't a good experience, so that kind of sucked. This time, maybe it'll be a little bit better. Of course, there are some issues. Henshin Mystic does use quarterstaff, and as you guys know, with a quarterstaff build, it is difficult to keep your quarterstaffs from breaking. I don't know if there is item wear, or like item damage negation in Monk, but if there is, I will be using that all day long. Oh, because man, your staff's breaking is so frustrating. It's like you wanna play with your cool guy and use your cool weapon and stuff, but staffs is just the absolute worst. 'Cause they always just break. Always just break, man. All right. Now my teammates are clearly already in there killing stuff and doing things. I will help them because I had to go hand it to Elminster. Going to quest beyond the rift. Whoa, 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 camera angle. What the hell just happened? Oh my god. But yeah, man. Not being able to see the problem. Yeah. I don't know exactly how this build is going to perform at like endgame. The damage can only go up. I'm going to get more spell power, you know, Epic Pansophic Circlet and all that, which is kind of a big boost in spell power. I don't entirely know what I'm going to be taking as like a lot of my more epic feats. Like other than combat archery, which I know I'll be taking, the rest of them are still pretty up in the air at this point.
Closer to my home.
Hey, it's Mr. Bashfistum, Dispenser of Justice. I like that he's a robot, so he's a dispenser of justice. He dispenses justice like a vending machine. You just go put in some quarters, get some justice. Now, there are a couple of bad things about this build. I'm a crossbow guy, but I can't disable traps. This will confuse your allies and cause them to become disoriented and wary of you, which could be something that you want. It might not be something that you want. It really depends on what you're going for. You seem to be accustomed to dangerous journeys. You narrowed me down to EST, so that's like what? Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, or Nunavut? No, New Brunswick is Atlantic time. So I am not in New Brunswick, I can tell you that much. But it could be Ontario, Quebec, or Nunavut. One of those places is also very different than the other two. It's very, very far. No way, man. He's dispenser of justice, not freedom. He's not America. Not just handing out freedom, giving away freedom to everybody. Bring in the freedom. No. But I'll tell you one thing. You did pick the right country. You do know I'm a Canadian. I also did say, you know, Happy Canadian Thanksgiving to all my Canadian brethren out there. I love me some Canadian Thanksgiving, so. Yeah, people that actually do damage can one-shot these fucking spiders. Can I make them dance? No, apparently I cannot. Woo. Yeah, I don't even know if they're like where towns are in Nunavut or how that works. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. The problem with one level of fighter is that if you take one level of fighter, you're no longer a pure monk. So that doesn't that build path doesn't entirely work out for me. I will be trying to figure something out though. Don't worry. I think what I'm gonna be doing for sure is the Adamantine Ritual. The problem with the Adamantine Ritual is that it makes an item bound to character, I think. So if I ever wanted to use the item on a different character, say I wanted to make specifically a staff build character, all my items would be bound and I have to re-get them. The reason that's a problem is because the best item in the entire game, which is the Elemental Bloom, is bound to account because it drops from Slave Lords, and Slave Lords is not Slave Lords, Temple of Elemental Evil, and Temple of Elemental Evil items are not fun to farm out. They're great. They're amazing items. You can get some chump-ass friends to go farm them out with you. That's good. But they are not that fun to farm out themselves. They can be extremely tedious. So, yeah. Where do you even get the adamantine ore for the ritual? Because I know you can get the soul gems from the earth elementals in Lords of or Palace of Stone or whatever the one is. Or Lord of Stone? I know you can get the Earth Elemental there. That's where you can get the Soul Gem. But where do you get the, I don't remember where you get the Adamantine Ore. I can't remember.
In the distance, the spinner of shadows scuttles
Speak French to me. That'll let me know if you're in Quebec, and then I have a sneaky feeling you're not in Nunavut, which is in Ontario, and like only like half Ontario is EST, so you put the province. That's right, man. Well, I will tell you one thing. I can't speak French in any capacity, and I'm very proud of that. So. Oh, that's where that comes from? The one where we have to fetch the sword from the dwarves? Oh. That's good to know. I did not know that. I'm gonna skip this song. I don't want Nintendo coming at me and being like, "Hey, you're using our music." Relic of the Sovereign Past. Yeah, like I said, it is the frustrating part about this build is that I don't disable traps in any capacity. So people will be like, will expect you to like just get rid of the traps, and then you just don't. And they're like, "What the hell, man? You're supposed to get those traps." I didn't say I wasn't in Nunavut. It's just improbable. That's all. Although I'm using the internet right now, so I feel like I'm not in Nunavut. I don't know if they have internet there. There's not to say anything bad about the people of Nunavut, just the place. The actual physical, geographical location. Sounds like it may not be the most entertaining place to live. I love the dire charges everywhere, though. The disappointing thing about this character is I don't have access to dire charge. I can't get dire charge, which is like one of my new favorite feats ever. I love dire charge. Dancing everybody for Pin and Whistler. The entire groups to become helpless. Yeah, so this character's performing pretty well for being fresh 20 and going into Epic Elite. I'm just barely holding above the Warlock in kills. And the Warlock's a Warlock. Although the Warlock's in Legendary Dreadnought. So, I'm specced out in the maximum damage I can possibly achieve. You know, going for all the right things. And the Warlock is just like leveling destinies. Oh, man. Oh no, the ritual. Now, one of the things about this character that I will tell you guys, if you want to play as a crossbow character and you're not going to have Artificer, you need bolts. So, bolts. Get one of these. A Dynamistic Quiver. It holds 3,000 bolts of 5 different types. So I've got sturdy bolts, I got 30 bolts. With all these 30 bolts, bam, I'm able to actually hold everything. Which one of these holds my combinations of Valor? This one? There we go. Bam. So I highly recommend that. And it also knows polar bear territory. Yo, there's lots of polar bears in Manitoba around Winnipeg and stuff. It's like important to be careful of polar bears and be mindful of polar bears in Manitoba. Ooh, pinned down. Oh, spiders. Forgot about that. I thought they'd show up right behind you. Can I keep a guy perma-pinned because pin has a shorter cooldown? That's amazing. I'm going to kill all these things. I'm going to stat pad by killing all these individual monsters instead of pumping damage into the main monster. Stat padding. It's the secret. It's the best way to get kills. No, let me stat pad. No! My spiders. Oh my god. Trying to stop me from stat padding. Oh, really? Oh, so then I can just dump as many rituals as I want on there. Oh, I did not know that. Cool. Maybe I'll have to go... if I do the next build, I will have to get some more Adamantine Ritual going. The Elemental Bloom is a fantastic quarterstaff, but the staff breaks, like, all the time. You might as well just come broken. Which is like not conducive to good damage. Woo. I do like that this fully heals you though, 21,000 health. It's a lot. Give me some of that plus 10 bonus to all saving throws. Can't go wrong with plus 10 bonus to all saving throws. Where are they going? Weird. I'm gonna do it this way. So what do I have? So with that, it brings me up to like 48. Still not even that good. Need to get better stats and better items. Ooh. won't let me use know the angles right now, which is really weird. There we go. Oh, the earth elementals can become helpless too. Can I make them dance? That's a good question. I don't know if you can make earth elementals dance. I'm trying to actually learn this, you know what I'm saying? I can pin them. I know that's for sure. Because I can pin whatever I want. Unfortunately, the earth elementals don't really feel like moving too much right now. I know you can make earth elementals dance. I just don't know if I can make them dance.
Has alerted another colony of deadly spiders.
And the spiders are immune to dancing, so they don't really give a crap about my Otto's Whistler. Now, I think I might need to invest in getting more, action boosts, just because Power Surge is great, but having only access to 2 action boosts kind of sucks. Kyber shards are, when you talk about Kyber shards, you're talking about just like the garbage from like that you pick up from all the chests, right? I'll have to look this up. Adamantine Ritual. DDO Adamantine Ritual. Oh, look at me auto running into the wall. Do we have a rogue? No, we don't. We do have traps though. Ow. Eh. Rejuke again. Adamantine Ritual, there we go. What does this cost? Oh, it costs 10 soul gems. And then 20 soul gems. Oh god, so many soul gems. Oh man, I missed. Okay, so that's a pretty big investment. In fact, if you want to do Adamantine or Ritual number 4, it costs 100 gems in total. But it adds a bunch of durability to your item. So you can't complain about that. Well, like, I mean, you can. Soul gems that you then have to build with some stone elemental souls. Increasing the hardness by 5 would even just be good enough. But doing all of it might actually be worth it if you want to use that staff a lot. Warning, a failed Adamantine Ritual can reset it to 1. What? What up with that sonic damage? Sonic damage is gross. Man, the sonic damage comes from Shirati, and the sonic damage comes from Fatal Flaw, which just adds sonic damage. It's the item, man. I can't do nothing about it. That's just the way the game works. I don't make the game, okay? I didn't put the code into the game. I did not create the game, and I also did not have sexual relations with that woman. I have Featherfall? Who gives me Featherfall? Oh, I'm still using the Knight's boots. Yeah. I'm using these boots just because they give Featherfall. Can I? Okay, so I can't dance these. But I can pin them. Yes, I can pin them. Good. Someday I should get more than one person to play with. Yeah, man. See all these group of people? You can actually use this magical grouping panel to get as many people as you want to come join you. As well, you can make some cool friends and get those people to join you. Well, some would say friends, others would say chumps. You want to get some chumps to come play the game with you? There's actually a cool trick you can use to find people to play with, not only in game, but even outside of game, and to make longer-lasting friendships. That's right, there are ways you can find other players to play with in-game. How do you find those players? Well, guess what? You can go and follow this link here, boom, and join the DDO Discord server. But what is the DDO Discord server, you might ask? It's this fantastic, cool little web dingly-dongle that allows you to find other players to play with that may be on your server, or maybe you'll just connect with and find are really cool. Comes with like little chat rooms and stuff for making your own groups. And it's a great way to find other friends to play with. So I highly recommend it. I'm also a moderator there, so I make sure that I keep everybody in line, you know what I'm saying? Don't let anything get too out of hand. You know, people talking shit, They're gonna get the smackdown. That's rule number 1 of Strimtom. Just so extremely antisocial. I remember. Oh, there you go. But don't have metallic DR. I can't bypass metallic DR because the arrows, the arrow imbues that allow you to bypass DR don't work. As sad as that sounds. Take this. Bam. So yes, I cannot bypass the DR on animated armor because I don't have access to that. Unfortunately, I'd actually need a crossbow that has access to DR reduction, which is very, very difficult to do for me. I know, it's deeply dissatisfying. But the arrow imbues actually affect the arrows themselves. Whereas this, I don't know how this works. I don't know how force arrows works because it says your arrows gain and it doesn't affect the arrows. But yeah, it just doesn't work with crossbows. Dance, monkey, dance! Haha! Oh, these guys aren't moving. So if I go and get a good lineup like this, see I get them in a line, boom, pin. I've got them double helpless. They can still move, which is I find really weird, the fact that they're actually made helpless with pin and Otto's Whistler. But yeah. Yeah, I could turn. I actually, to play this character, I do have sound effects turned very far down, so it's more tolerable. I just had to try it, man, on hit effect repeater build, and it's really goofy and it works. I like it. I don't know how you can actually make friends in game. I don't have any good advice. Kind of just talk to people and say hello. You might be antisocial, but I don't know. I was never really that much of a social person when I was a kid. I was a pretty big antisocial kid. I didn't like to go play outside and hang out and things like that. But through my experience, this is gonna sound really corny, but through my experience playing video games, just playing video games, playing with other people, especially strangers on the internet, it's made me, become more comfortable talking to people, especially like making videos on YouTube, things like that, because I just wanted to. Helped me out a lot with like my ability to public speak and, kind of work in groups. And it's kind of helped me a lot with my leadership skills. So like right now I like lead a team of people, and I can only do that. I attribute a large part of that to my experience doing raids and stuff back in the day, Lord of the Rings Online, World of Warcraft, stuff like that. Actually commanding and leading a group of people. Evening star chain next, starting with impossible demands. So like I kind of attribute a lot of that to like my experience playing video games. This is not to say that like, oh my god, yeah, it's video games are the greatest thing ever, but that certain aspects of like especially the social interaction and the way that you can kind of like, I don't know, develops different types of social structures I find is very interesting. And I don't know, I've always been fond and friendly towards online communities, because online communities are just it's kind of neat. It's like a regular community, but it's just different. It's just different. See, that's what I used to think, Mr. Tyler G. I disagree with that. Great Crossbow is really, really, really good for a rogue. And Repeater is better on an Artificer. However, at endgame, Repeater is better on a rogue. And the reason for that is this item right here. This item called the Fatal Flaw. It has an epic version called the Epic Fatal Flaw. It's the best crossbow in the game and does the most damage. So even though it's a repeating crossbow and not a great crossbow, it's still better to use the Epic Fatal Flaw. You'll be doing more damage. Fortunately, anything you have that's spec'd towards using a great crossbow will also work with a repeater, so they are kind of interchangeable. The Divine Artillery was the best, but then Fatal Flaw comes out and it's like, yo, what up? I'm not gonna let you finish. It doesn't even give it the Kanye treatment. It doesn't let it finish, and boom, you got yourself a new king of the weapons. So interesting how that goes. What you're gonna notice is that the reason why this weapon is so good is because of this right here. This is called a critical profile. Critical profiles are important. The better your critical profile, the better your weapon's gonna be. So the fact that this has a better critical profile and a Vorpal and armor piercing is why it's so good. The critical profile is the king of weapons. Whoa, how did I heal that guy? What the hell? But yeah, critical profile basically makes weapons king. That's why Riftmaker is so good and is the best two-hander, because it's got the best critical profile. Basically, yeah, go Great Crossbow until you get the Epic Fatal Flaw. The cool thing is when you start the game, you get the option to start with Uldarin's Great Crossbow, or Ladrin, or whatever the goddamn guy's name is. Great Crossbow is really good crossbow because it has Keen, which means you can use that until you get improved critical at 12. You can use that crossbow until level 12, and it's really, really good. Even better than just using that crossbow until level 12. What did I get? Oh, energy resistance again. Even better than just using that crossbow until level 12, which is obviously a very good idea. You can use that all the way up to 20. It's such a good weapon. We do so much damage, it's hilarious. We're just going to go through the front door here and then clear out the first room. Go through the door.
Justice is gone. Her words ring in your ears. If I see you again, I will sacrifice every last hostage.
Oh, I can't make them. Oh, did I make them both dance? Yes, I did. Where'd she go? Cool. We'll save these people. Yeah, no. I don't actually care about Expedition's Retreat because it gives 25% movement speed, and I have 25% already. I just do it by habit.
Not stop until you are defeated or fled to the entryway.
And we just kill her in this room here. Yeah, this character has some interesting, yeah, like I said, repeating crossbows aren't going to do as much damage as great crossbows in general, but rogues get such ridiculous enhancements with great crossbows that there's pretty much no reason not to use them until you get the epic fatal flaw. Because regular fatal flaw is not good enough. Regular fatal flaw is not good enough, but epic fatal flaw is. Oh yeah, the ham from Scion of Limbo. Yeah, it is pretty exciting. Unquiet Graves is next. I don't use Scion of Limbo, and there's a very specific reason for it. So Scion of Limbo clearly is really, really good, okay? Because if you look at all the abilities, they're crazy. You're talking like 40 melee and range power as one of the buffs, or like 80 spell power. I think it's like 50 or 60 physical resistance rating and magical resistance rating. Crazy, crazy buffs, guys. But the problem with Scion of Limbo is you can't control it. So when you want the melee buff, you're not going to have it. When you want the defense buff, you're not going to have it. And not being able to time defense buffs changes the way that you play. So I do like the idea that when the buff comes up and it changes, you can kind of adjust your playstyle to fit that bit better. The problem is DDO doesn't really support adjusting playstyles that much. DDO is more of a, like, this is how you play the game, or you design a character to interact with the game in a certain way. Having it change kind of means you have to change your game plan on the fly, and items right now are very, very specific. Oh, Colors of the Queen. Okay. I know what you're talking about now. Sorry, I got distracted. Anyway, I'm going on my Scion of Limbo tangent. Even though it's really, really good, because it's not consistent, it has that really big problem of you not being able to plan for what's actually going to happen. And planning for what's going to happen is what you'll notice a lot of the really, really strong characters do. Crowd control effects, of course, being extremely powerful in this game. In fact, overpowered, and I will say this, they're overpowered. Mass Hold Monster, Dire Charge, you know, fucking, what am I using? Nerve Venom, right? Crowd control effects are just too good because they're too easy to come by. Because unlike, they need an armor class treatment, basically. There needs to be an armor class treatment to the way that crowd control effects work. Right now, crowd control effects are on a DC, which is just a hard D20. So, to put it in perspective, if my DC is 10, and I'm using it in Legendary Elite, where the monsters have 100 to their saves, they will fail on a 1. But that means 95% of the time it won't work. But if I have 100 on my DC, and they only have, say, an 80, they only make their save on a 20, which means it's a 95% success rate. And everything moves along that line of a hard 5% every time. And a hard 5% is problematic. Because... Oh, I'm just going to wait for Turtloid to catch up. A hard 5% is really problematic when you're talking about DCs like that. Man, I'm tangenting so hard, but I'm going to keep doing it. But a hard 5% is kind of bad for the game because it means that you can essentially, the only options are get your DCs high enough to the point where they can never be failed against. Yeah, get your DCs high enough to the point where they can never, ever be failed against. Or they're just not good enough and it's unreliable. Casting a hold monster on a full group right now, and it only affecting half of the monsters, is really, really bad for your group. Because it means I cast the debuff spell, and then my melee runs in and thinks that everything gets held, but boom, suddenly it doesn't get held. Okay? And that kind of sucks. Because you have, say, 5 monsters, if 2 of them can just stab you whenever they feel like it, that's really bad, especially in a difficulty like Legendary Elite, where the monsters hit you for 800 to 1,000 damage, and you don't have that much health. So, having inconsistency with those effects is really bad. But the problem is, it's bad because that's the way we are trained to work with effects. You know, if you can't hit that 100% success rate with Dire Charge, or the 100% success rate with your crowd control effect, it's really not very good anymore. Whereas if there was a diminishing return on it, say, you know, the highest you could get was only 50%, or if it had something more like a physical resistance rating, where the higher your DC got, it gave you a higher chance, but maybe the maximum was 75% or something. As a result, it would mean that crowd control is a little bit less, like, 100% reliable, and you'd have to focus more on defensives and things like that to kind of go around it. Or if, imagine random monsters were just flat out immune. If more monsters are immune to more ways of crowd control, it might actually work a little bit better. The problem is you have like stupid goofy garbage that kind of circumvents the whole thing, such as what I'm using. This right here, Nerve Venom. 7% chance to paralyze living creature. Paralyze. There's no number, there's no save, it's just 7% chance. Oop, can't move. And when that creature can't move, I can keep shooting it and keep paralyzing it. So, it really, you know, you run into this situation where like, this crowd control is some of the best crowd control in the game. What I have, Nerve Venom. A popular build that uses Shirati Champion, which is the Shirati, as I call it, the Shirati garbage build, because you just take a bunch of garbage and it makes a bunch of damage, where you use magic missiles, force missiles, chain missiles, and repeat, and you just throw out a lot of different spell effects to get those 7% chances to proc repeatedly over and over and over to make something. Because you're throwing out spells so quickly, you're probably throwing out like 15 different spells a second. With all the way all the numbers are working out. Throwing 15 spells a second, you're pretty much guaranteed to start stunning almost everything in the room, which is why the Shirati garbage build works so incredibly effectively. Nerve Venom is one of the big components of it because it's a defensive ability all of a sudden. It's not just the fact that you're actually damaging the target, but you're also stunning multiple targets around. Your very offensive ability in Shirati Champion suddenly has this random chance to proc a really defensive ability. But it's not inconsistent, because even though 7% sounds like it's pretty low, the fact that you can get so many spell effects makes it really, really, really consistent. Which is deeply troubling. Which is why one of those builds are so incredibly good. So, I don't know what the solution is. I just know that there are mad problems, especially with the way crowd control works. And so, yeah, Colors of the Queen. Anyway, back to Scion of Limbo. Because it's not consistent, you can't really plan for what's happening, and it's just not that good. Whereas you'd much rather have something consistent. Like Scion of Arborea only gives 20 melee power and 20 range power, as opposed to the 40. But you know you always have it, so you can always plan for the amount of damage you do. Asked about Hamsplosions, talks about spell DCs. Who do you think you are, Donald Trump? Hey man, I will say. I don't know if you've heard this one, but it turns out you actually can't stump the Trump. Strimstream. My God. Could you imagine? I could never be a politician, especially not in America. Largely because I'm not born there. And I can prove, because I have my birth certificate somewhere behind me. But also, man, if you watch this stream enough, Mr. Sensilis, you'll know that I very much just go on tangents. That's pretty much what we do here. Which is why, like, my streams are more entertaining when I have a chat to bounce off of. Because as long as you just keep poking me and telling me to talk about stuff, like, oh my God, I will just go. You see some people, you know, spend large portions of their lifetime working on, you know, great works. You know, they focus on becoming more educated, maybe, you know, getting a degree in engineering or biomedical science. You know, other people will, you know, take their time going into a trade and working, you know, learning welding or something else, and so they can then use those skills in the future to build things like high rises or to work on cars and to improve the quality of life of many different people. I myself have taken it upon me to have almost every bit of information that is in DDO stored up here. Specific enhancement trees, every single collectible and every single quest in the game, trap locations, trap DCs, obscure items from different quests and raids. You bet I got it right here. So if you just like get me going, especially individual background mechanics, I know everything. I got it all up here. And that's the service that I provide for you guys. Sure, I don't know how to do surgery. The Lost Thread is next. The Lost Thread. Even though, like, yeah, maybe I can't like do surgery, or I can't, you know, I don't work on computers. You know, I'm not building one of them super amazing quantum computers or something, and I don't know any of that garbage. And hell, I don't even recycle that often. I do know everything about this game, so you'll learn that in time. I'm sorry that Senseless was taken though. Adamantine Ritual 5, a total cost of 150 soul gems. 75,000 Kyber Dragon Shard fragments? 75,000? The Adamantine ore is not that bad, but I have a lot. Yeah, Strimpedia, there you go. This is the Strimpedia. I should also open up my group again. What are we doing? This is quest 6? No, 7 of 15. The Lost Thread. The Lost Thread. But yeah, what is my opinion of the alleged monk changes? It's not alleged. The monk changes are coming. I can tell you that because I'm on the players' council and I saw them already, and I made comments about them, and I helped shape them into what they are. I'm super, super duper stoked. Like, I'm basically shitting my pants because I'm so excited. My next build that I'm going to be doing after this crazy, ridiculous, shoddy garbage build that I'm doing right now, the build I do after this is going to be a Henshin Mystic staff using monk, and it's gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna post a video about it, and I'm gonna like do a dance, and it's gonna be great. And you'll all see that fantastic content when it comes out. I'm very excited. Hand wraps working as an actual weapon is a great prospect for the future of kind of like the future of hand wraps and monks in general, because it gives you more interaction with different abilities. Yeah, well, it's because this character has a swim of 29. You gotta max out your swim, man. I put 23 ranks in this shit. It's the most important skill in the game, because look how fast you get to move. Welcome. We are on the Lost Thread. Share that quest. But I'm very excited for the monk changes. I don't know anything about playing a punchy monk, or a stealthy monk, or a thrower monk. I only know Henshin Mystic, because I mean, nobody knew anything about Henshin Mystic. People didn't know how the DCs worked or anything. So I wrote the aspects of the DDO wiki telling you how it works. Like, I'm the guy that put that up there because I was like, hey, there's no entries for this. Nobody understands how this works. I'm going to go write it. that was the gist of my idea there. So yeah, that was kind of what happening there. I'm really excited for a lot of those monk changes. Yeah, man, I'm always here. You forgot today was Monday? Man, screw you, Durocan. Oh my god. I counted on you, man. You're supposed to be here every single Monday. I know, like, you're in school. You're like, oh my god, I'm like in school. I gotta oh shit, draw slavers. I forgot, we have to save these people. Oh god. Contrary to popular belief, we're gonna try to save the slaves this time if we can. I don't have to use magic. Do I have the use magic device? I think I do, actually. No, wait, we have a warlock. Warlock can do the use magic device. Yeah, Elmo, you were at work. Durocan, you were at school. Don't you guys know that you're supposed to give up on all your daily life, like all of your life tasks? Literally every single task that you have in your life is supposed to be given up so you can watch the stream. It's very, very obvious that is how you're supposed to handle these situations. So I'm just saying. Can't miss the stream. How much have you missed? I don't know. We did Lords of Dust Epic Elite, and this character does hilarious damage. Drow Slaver? Hey, that sounds like a guy I gotta shoot. So this character has the option to swap between improved precise shot and not improved precise shot. Not improved precise shot means that I don't. Ooh, hey, there's another slaver? 3 slavers in one room? That's crazy. I know, job. Thanks, Senseless. I need that. Doing your research. Researching on how to get that paper. Yeah. I'll high five myself over that one. That's how cool I am. Yeah, man, it is Thanksgiving. Canadian Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all you Canadians in the audience today. I've said that multiple times. I'm very lucky myself. I did not have to work today because my company is good, and they were like, Thanksgiving, don't go to work today. Which is kind of cool. I also have tomorrow off, so if you want to see more Strimtom, by the way, say you're sitting and you're watching this, and you're like, man, Strimtom, you're amazing. You make everything in my, you make my entire life better. How can I get more of you in my life, other than coming to where I live, and sneaking in like my room, and then hanging out with me while I'm asleep, and then not telling me, but just staring at me during the night, which is an option if you can do that. Also, bam. You can follow me right there. You can follow what's my name? Strimtom? You can follow Strimtom at twitch.tv/Strimtom, and you'll see me stream I stream like every once in a while. I've wanted to make a stream schedule, but because of my current work schedule being very non-conducive to setting up a full schedule, I am not currently doing that. I live in Canada. It's a pretty great place. You know, pretty concise. It's not that big, so it works out. I live on like 3285 Nunio Business Avenue. Haha! Which company do I work at? The company that makes product. $135 a day and wasted 5 hours overtime, not counting electric bill cost. Yeah, man. Oh shit! You worked at a restaurant? That blows. That blows. No, I can't get in. What is this? What do we have to do? I don't know how to do this puzzle, so. Bastard son of America and Canada. Yee, we saved the guy. Good. I don't know how this works. 90% on it's Eastern Ontario. I don't know either. How does this work? Hey, it's open. I don't give a shit. Did we lock somebody out? No, we didn't. Good. Oh my god, that sucks, dude. I am fortunate. I don't have... Well, maybe I'm not fortunate. I never have days like that. My days are always very, very busy. No. It's not easy. You make it sound easy, but it's actually very difficult. I just don't think you understand the complexity of how difficult it really is. You say these words like easy, but you don't understand like I said, the deep complexity of the challenge. Boom! Talking pin. Did I pin every single guy in the line? No, I did not. That's what I wanted to do, though. Oh, I don't have improved precise shot on because I took it off. That's why I didn't get every guy in the line. Screw school time to take a road trip. Yeah, man. Oh god, you guys. The entire eastern half of Ontario. I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, there's not much in eastern Ontario. You got like Toronto, Kingston, Niagara Falls, Ottawa, Oshawa. What else is there? I'm not supposed to shoot Anna. I'm not supposed to shoot Anna. Hey, game lag. What am I doing? I can't stop. I can't stop this feeling. I get my fancy just saying brag all you want. There you go. Cornwall? There you go. Cornwall, Ontario is another great place. Cornwall's terrible. Peterborough? Oh man, you go to Peterborough, Ontario. That's a terrible idea. There's like a million places in Toronto. Scarborough and other boroughs. So many boroughs. What else is there? Sudbury's not Eastern Ontario, is it? Sudbury and Thunder Bay and North Bay. You live far away from all of you people. Not Canada? Did they say anything about the favorite soul pass? There is a favorite soul pass coming. I can tell you that much. I can't talk about it, but I can tell you that there is a favorite soul pass coming to Dungeons and Dragons Online, and that you should be excited about it. Barely sure he's from Ottawa? What makes you say that? I could be from anywhere. Nova Scotia, man, it's a good place. Scarberia. Yeah, favorite soul pass. There is changes to favorite soul coming. It is after the monk changes. Okay. After the monk changes, our favorite soul changes. That is a true fact. Dungeons and Kobolds Online? Yo, I'd be so happy if they actually added Kobolds to the game. Well, the monk change is coming in like 3 weeks, and favorite soul change is coming after that. It's this year. So before the end of the year, there should be favorite soul changes, unless there's any like big delays. And if there are delays, I mean, it's tech. Get used to it. Oh fuck, Arnprior. Forgot about Arnprior. I mean, I live in Arnprior. That's where I live. Okay, come on. If I can just... Okay, hold on, wait. Bam, helpless. Get him. What the hell am I listening to? I'm so confused right now. Yeah. Oh, did they announce the new Faith thing? Yeah, the new Faith things look amazing. So trust me, it's gonna be good. The new Faiths and how they will interact with Favorite Soul. At the moment, the new Faiths are terrible for Favorite Soul. But they're amazing for Paladin, which makes me very, very excited. Blur. Yeah, the new deity choices are fantastic. I will say I have a very, very good build in mind. For the record, with the new monk changes, with the new deity changes, I will say this. The Epic Riftmaker is no longer going to be the greatest weapon in the game, which is super cool. The solution that they have in mind is not better. No, they destroyed my returning bolt. Uh-oh. Am I going to try Maul Paladin? You bet I'm going to try Maul Paladin. See, the coolest thing, and also Maul Paladin. Whoa, Maul Paladin. Buddy. How about Maul Barbarian Cleric? Did you ever think of Maul Barbarian Cleric? I think you should try considering Maul Barbarian Cleric. Yeah. So Maul Barbarian Cleric, because you get the Maul, you get the Cleric bonus, you get the Maul bonus from Tank Cleric. You get Barbarian, you get the extra critical threat range, an extra +2 while raging from critical rage, and you get what was it? Blood strength. That's what I'm talking. Yeah, the new deity choices look fantastic. I can confirm a couple things. So if you've ever played with a deity right now, any of the deities, a good example is the, what do you call it? Silver Flame deity. Silver Flame is the absolute worst deity ever because you get Silver Flame Exorcism, right? Silver Flame Exorcism is the absolute worst thing ever because what it doesn't do is give you like, ooh, get out of here. What it doesn't do is give you the ability to exorcise targets. That's what you think it would do. You think, okay, Silver Flame Exorcism, you can exorcise people, right? Do I have to kill these Dragon Knights? I don't know. What do I have to kill here? These guys. Bam! Double shots. You think that Silver Flame Exorcism lets you use your Exorcism and destroy targets. That's not actually the case, because what it reads as is Cleric level. It's based off your Cleric level. So if you're a Paladin of the Silver Flame, or you're a Favorite Soul of the Silver Flame, unfortunately for you, terrible planning you can't use any of those abilities because they don't scale off of that. They actually scale off of Cleric level, so the DC is 1. A lot of the new enhancements, or not enhancements, religions are going to have things that scale off of Cleric level. They're actually changing the way it works so that it will scale off of not just Cleric level, but other things, meaning that Silver Flame Exorcism is actually going to work with non-clerics, and a lot of other effects are going to work with non-clerics, like all the new ones. So I already made sure to look into that, because I actually took Silver Flame when I did Favorite Soul, because the capstone for capstone for the Angel Vengeance tree is Searing Light. So it's actually not that bad to take because it gives you a free Searing Light that you can maximize in power and all that garbage. Battle for Evening Star. So it gives you something that you can use there. So it's actually pretty good. But yeah, the exorcism doesn't work, which is kind of shit. So actually being able to use that will be pretty cool. I'm excited. But yeah, Maul Paladin. I don't know. There's a lot of cool builds that are going to come with the religion, and even more so than the cool builds that come out of the religion, the fact that there'll be a lot of religious feats, people are going to look and just be like, oh man, I can choose this, and actually just maybe make flavorful characters. Because bear in mind, there are a lot of people that don't play this game just for the stats. There are people that play the game to make cool characters, or to make flavorful characters, you know? There are people out there that play only, only halflings, or only warforged. Doesn't matter if that's good, alright? Doesn't matter if playing as a warforged is good for every single character. Say you want to play as a druid, but you only play warforged, so now you're gonna play warforged druid. Is that a good idea? No, it's not a good idea. Warforged druid? Are you kidding? No, go home. Go home. You're very drunk. That's a bad idea. Look at this guy, halfling. Halflings are not that great. But some people just want to play halflings. Because they're not playing a thrower build, you know? They're maybe not even taking the Dragon Maid. They just think it's cool. They want to play Halfling Barbarian because they think it's cool. And the religious feats option will give people more stuff to play because they just want to. They say, oh man, I like the idea of, someone following Sylvanas and being like a warrior of nature. You know, I think that would be really cool. So they just play as that because they think that's really cool. I love that idea. I love, more flavor. People feeling good about the characters that they play. What did I get? 75 resist energy. Goddamn. Not again. You just play only halflings or half-elves? Halflings and gnomes are the best, okay? Fight me. I will fight you. With statistics, they're the worst. Also, I'm going to kill a lot of slaves here. I hope you're okay with that. Let's put a trigger warning that many slaves are about to die. Trigger warning. Because I'm just going to shoot. I'm just going to gun them down. I don't care. Oh, God, it feels good. I'm going to kill the boss here. I'm not going to, not kill the boss and only kill slaves. Oh, that's not true. I'm going to think about doing that. Now that I say that. But you'll almost never see me play a halfling because I can't stand halflings. They're short and their stats are terrible. Which is obviously not the reason you should play the game. You should play the game because you're playing characters you want to play. That's why I'm playing this character though. Flavor is okay if it's forced with magic. There we go. Perfect. As long as my moral compass is kept in check. But yeah, I do like to play Warforged a lot, but when I find a build that kind of doesn't work with Warforged, I will play that. But if I have the option, I usually play Warforged. Like when I did my Cleric life, I decided to play a Warforged Necro Cleric because why not be a Warforged Death Priest? I think Warforged Death Priest is a cool concept. Is it a good concept? No. And I showed that off very, very well. And now you know it's not a good concept. Gotta get a stun on this guy. Yeah, none of that. Dragon Mark of Healing. No, thank you. Ah, I hate when they go invisible. Like, you see them standing, but then their stealth activates. Stances Healing Mark way back when. Yeah, man. I remember the Halfling Monk tanks that were so good that were doing Storm Reaver because they could hit 75 AC, so they could actually tank the Storm Reaver on Elite. I remember that. That was awesome. I will say, I do like the design of a lot of the gnomes, and when the gnome first came out, I TR'd into a gnome day one to test it out because I wanted to see, what can the gnomes do? Even more importantly, the Dragon Mark is super cool. Dragon Mark doesn't appear on the face, though, of the gnome yet, because it's bugged. Unarmed. And the max possible AC with Chattering Ring. Oh, man. Oh, what's happening? Adorable noses. No. I like Purple Dragon Knight. Don't you like my face? Don't you like my Purple Dragon Knight character's face? And my character design? My model? Would you like my model? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I tested it with Kensei Fighter before the Kensei changes, my friend. Before the Kensei changes. Not after. And it actually wasn't that bad. I did have a lot of fun playing it. The damage was pretty good. And since then, they added 40 melee power to that tree, a critical threat multiplier, +8 to all stats, and like +15 damage base. I'm trying to imagine how good it would actually be now. I believe so, yes. If because they will be weapons, they should apply that way. I don't entirely know. We'll have to test that out, but they should be able to, yes. Head and then body. Yeah, the Purple Dragon Knight males have no head or no neck, but the females actually do have a neck. The women have necks. The Purple Dragon ladies. If hand wraps are going to be weapons, we'll be able to apply int to hit and damage. I think so. I don't see why you wouldn't, because they should work. The thing is, the only reason why I'm not sure is I don't know if they'll be allowed to do that. They should. Again, they should, but there's some weird things that happen. You're looking at effects like shields. Shields you can't actually apply to intelligence to hit and damage with them, which is really weird because they're shields, right? You know, why not? But it's because you can shield bash with them. But because they're not technically weapons, they don't fall into the same category. So it's weird. I'm not sure what the answer is. I'm going to say, based on my gut, repair. Repair. Murdered. I'm going to say, based on my gut feeling and what I know about the game, it should work. I'll say that. Ah, Driders. Ah, Zyra done Robar. An intelligence-based hand wrap build could be very interesting. There's also the fact that hand wraps are going to be an exotic weapon proficiency. So think about it like this. You can take exotic weapon proficiency hand wrap and be able to use hand wraps proficiently. That won't give you the monk attack animation. Monk attack animation is tied to being a monk. But it will give you the ability to use hand wraps without a penalty. It might actually make me finally able to do my barbarian brawler build, where you use unarmed and barbarian. That I want to fucking see. I do lots of damage. Get off my case, man. Look at my kills. I'm only one behind Turtloid, the warlock. Why can't I close this window? There we go. I do lots of damage. You're crazy. Slavery is okay if it's not an objective that tells me otherwise. An objective that tells me otherwise. Well, you know, think about it this way. I can't free the slaves because I don't have enough, like, UMD or whatever, so I'll just murder them all, right? It's like, that's the kind of idea we got going on here. I just dropped my pasta dinner. Jay just destroyed video. Oh, man. Hey, man, I'm sure every game company has spaghetti code. People say the same thing about, like, the Blizzard spaghetti code that they have behind World of Warcraft. Because it's like, oh, we can't change the base backpack because, you know, it was coded in 2004, and if we change the backpack, it'll end the goddamn world. It's like, oh, whoops. Which I find more funny than anything else. I hope you actually didn't drop your pasta dinner, man, because that would suck. I actually skipped dinner today, so I'm really, really hungry. So after I'm done the stream, I'm going to have to go get something to eat because I'm crazy hungry. I will be doing a stream after stream, like an after dark stream, but I got to do that after I eat. I'm not a designer either. I'm very happy with the way that Turbine does it. So it's 2:30 a.m. Oh damn, you're in England. Well, in the UK or France or Spain. I think that's all the countries. UK, France, or Spain at that time. Scotland or Ireland or Wales or Scotwale land. Is that a place? I don't know any other countries in Europe besides those ones that I named. Oh, I think there's like Yugoslavia. Is that in Europe? I don't know, man. I didn't read books. we learned Canadian history in school. They were like, yo, by the way, this is Canadian history. And they taught us about, like, you know, the Hudson Bay Company and the fur trade. And they also taught us about Europe a little bit. There's, like, where the French and the English were like, man, we want to control this. And then the people were like, yeah, but it's, like, cold here. And then they were like, well, we don't want to put that much effort in. So then Canada was like, bah, let's just not be controlled by the Europe people. Shindrillin of Death Undone first. Portugal. That's right. That's right, Iron Hands. Portugal. Greenland is not in Europe. Greenland is not in Europe. That's its own continent. Greenland is huge. What else is there? What else did I learn? We also learned about how Canada came to be. So basically, in 1867, if you're familiar with American history, America was basically like, we're gonna make a revolution. Screw you guys, and they fought a war, and they did all this stuff about it, you know, and they fought this big ass war, and it was like, you know, people died, and people were killed, and people were murdered, and then they became their own independent nation somehow. And then it's like, okay, well, what happened to Canada? Well, Canada was like, hey guys, can we, like, we just want to, like, be our own country or whatever. Can we do that, please? And then Europe was like, well, I mean, sure, whatever, I guess. And we're like, cool. And then Canada became its own country. So it's a bit of a different story. You know, not quite as much death and explodies and, you know, that stuff, and the murder and the pain and the rah-rah death. So, what are we on now? This is 9 of 15. We're on Shindrillin, House of Death Undone. Are there moose here? I don't know. I will tell you one thing that I did learn. Beavers are very, very vicious because they're really, really territorial. If you didn't know that. So if you, like, encounter a beaver in the forest, like, it's not just gonna, like, sit there, run away, or, like, be friendly. It'll start slapping its tail on the ground, trying to, like, puff itself up and be like a big animal. And, you know, like, beaver is gonna come at me and try to fight me. Like, I'm gonna kick that beaver's ass. Beaver's like a foot long or something. I don't know how big it is. I'm assuming a beaver's like this big. What's it gonna do? I'll just step on it. I have steel toe boots. I can stomp that beaver in the ground. You know? So I'm not even afraid of no beavers. Moose though, they're pretty big. Like if you find a herd of meese, they can be very dangerous. I gotta go run. Did you learn about the island that Canada and Denmark keep sending a person to every few months to put down Danish club or Canadian club or Danish naps? Yes, that is, what was it? That's Baffin Island, I think. Sounds like you have beaver experience. I'm telling you, man. Just if a beaver is trying to, like, start some shit, just boot to face. It will learn its lesson. Is Reaper difficulty just going to be beavers? No. If you've done Legendary Elite, Slave Lords, it's going to be the rats from that. So there you go. My country is celebrating its 150th anniversary next year, so it is possible that your country is older than mine. Welcome, we're heading out to House of Death Undone, the first of the Shindrillin chain.
I just did all the other ones but this one, but I will join you for the rest because I still get XP.
But yeah, I did know about that island. That is Baffin Island, I think, isn't it? Or is it a different island? I know Baffin Island's pretty big, so I'm not entirely sure now. I am confusing myself. Hockey. Yeah, Canadians like hockey. I don't like hockey. I am Canadian. I can't reconcile that difference. At different times, I find myself, like, I wake in the morning being like, "That is a good kid. That is a good kid." And I say that over and over. If you don't watch hockey, you wouldn't get that. Rest in peace, Don Cherry. Finally not a one-and-done player. But yeah, I don't know what Reaper difficulty would be, but I tell you, beavers would not be Reaper difficulty for me. Like I said, they're just a small animal. Like, what's it gonna do? You know? Like, I know that beavers are very territorial, but it's like anything, you know? Animals, they can't fight back against people. My country celebrates its independence every day. Yeah, man. Am I going the wrong way? Where am I? I'm lost. Oh my god. Oh god, I can't figure this out. This is too hard. I'm a big fan of America, so. Google says it's called Hands Island. Disputed by bottles of liquor. That is a great way to solve the dispute. European Central Time. Everything except UK, Portugal, Finland, the Baltics, Greece, and countries east of Poland. Good to know. Central European Time. I'm not in Central European Time. I'm in Eastern Daylight Time, EDT. It used to be EST, Eastern Standard Time, but then it changed to EDT, and I don't know when. I don't know who controls time. Is there like a time master that gets to choose what time zones are what? It'd be interesting if there's like a time master who's like the master of time. I am not the master of time. I'm just a dude who plays video games. I do have weird concepts of time, though. If you want to learn a little bit about Strimstream that you didn't want to know, let's go. So, something weird about Strimstream. I have a confusion about time. I don't believe in time zones. I think time zones are silly. I think we should have just one time. You know, I think we should have like one time that everyone's on. So that way, because we're in such a global market, if I am talking to a friend on the internet and I say, hey, want to play a video game at 4 o'clock or 4 p.m., they can go, oh, 4 p.m., that's 2 hours from now, instead of being like, oh, 4 p.m., well, you mean Eastern Daylight Time, and I'm in, Venezuela's a bad example because it's in the same time zone. I'm in, I don't know, England, so that's 5 hours away, and now I got to do this weird calculation. Like, no, we should have one time. Also, no daylight savings time. We should have none of those times. We should just have one time. That's my personal opinion. And then there's people that'll be like, but Strimstream, what about like, then how do you get up in the morning? Well, then my morning would be from X time to X time. So like if I get up at 5 p.m. and then I go to bed at like 7 a.m., that's fine. That's just how the world works. I would be fine with that. I'll make the sacrifice and have like a stupid time for when I get up and go to sleep. Reaver mode is just waves of champion bats, rats, and spiders from slave lords, and then the end boss is a champion red ooze. Oh god, not more oozes. Man, they need more epic mukbanes, I swear. There's not enough epic mukbane. We use Greenwich Mean Time, and soon we will be on GMT +1. God, I don't even understand what that means. GMT, 4 p.m. UTC. Oh, what are you guys talking about with your time? See, this is even more confusing. With your times. Can't we just have like a time, like one time? Is that too much to ask? It probably is too much to ask. It's a lot to ask. Wasn't there a broccoli weapon for sale? There was a broccoli weapon for sale. But we need more epic weapons that can be used against oozes that are not specifically broccoli weapons, because I find there are problems when you have weapons that are really, really good that you can only get at certain times of the year. So like all the Crystal Cove items shouldn't really be considered for builds or as items that exist in the game because they're limited time only. Same thing with broccoli. Broccoli should not be considered an item that exists in the game by the player base or when considering a build, because if you don't have it, you will never get it because it only comes during that time. Hey, what's going on, Jabuddy? How you doing? Jabuddy. It's a good name. That is a great name, actually. I'm doing some epic elite garbage with my build. The Shradi garbage. This is my own version of a Shradi garbage build. Time Lords control time. The Master is one of them. Just saying. I didn't watch Dr. Confusion, so. Yeah, the broccoli weapon was from the anniversary event, but if I want to get, say I want to use the broccoli weapon on my character and I decide to play on a new server, I can't get the broccoli weapon, so the item doesn't exist and it should not be considered as like in consideration when we think about item design, right? So like yeah, sure, it's made of glass and you can use it against or whatever material, and you can use it against oozes and rust monsters, but the problem with that is that you should never say, well, that exists, so we don't need to make other items that can do that for the rest of the end game. Like, that doesn't make sense, though there's no consistency with the logic, because most players can't get that item, right? It's not like it's a hard-to-find item. Like, imagine that they made Epic Pit, and the only item that was, like, resistant to rust and corrosion was the Epic Muxdoom, and you had to kill the epic Avatar of Jubilex to get it. So you'd have to farm out the pit, do the whole quest, and then loot that one chest for your chance to get it. And you would ransack it every week, and even if it only had 1% drop chance, that would be a better alternative than having one item that only comes once every 10 years on the anniversary event. Got the level 5 armor. 36 armor. Oh man, let me trump you. Get it? Trump? Haha, check this out. Boom. Impulsive 73 Magecraft plate plus 4. Impulsive 73 plus 4. Level 2, 23 armor. Get on my level. I'm so good. I'm so good at this game. Yeah, it is, but that's not my fault. I have to walk there. I am not on the quest. Wait for me. I had to walk here because this is the first. There's a reincarnated. But yeah, no, it's a good item. I'm just saying that it's important to remember. Don't consider niche fringe items that don't exist in the game
Why don't we go around and kill some other stuff then?
when you're designing new items.
Just killing something.
Like item design is one of those things that I feel like that's one of the areas that Turbine needs to improve upon. And you can look at it by like weapon diversity, right? So if you have a character that's using a two-hander, what you're using is going to be the Rift Maker. If you're using another item, you can. It's just worse, right? Like it's not like there are no other items. There are lots of two-handers, but any two-hander that appears in the game that doesn't have the same critical profile as the Rift Maker is just not going to get used because it's not as good. Which is sad, and it's not a good way to feel about like a lot of the design in the game. Oh, this hurts. Crafting's so boring. I actually really like the crafting. But that's why, like, I think item design is one of the areas that Turbine can work on more in the future, and I think they will. I think they are starting to work on it a bit more. Judging by a lot of the items that came out of the more recent quests, I feel like especially Slave Lords, those items kind of don't fill a niche role, and also don't have ridiculous critical multipliers, which is important. Items with critical multipliers is really bad. So yeah, I don't know. I have very strong opinions about item design in this game because I don't like when there's only one item. Also, the fact that there's so many different types of items in this game that exist. To give you an example, because I'm a fighter, I can use all of them. So I can go down to, let's say, martial weapon proficiency. All right, battle axe. No one uses it. Falchion. No one uses it. Great club. No one uses it. Great sword. No one uses it. Hand axe. Bards use it. Heavy pick. Fringe people will use it. Kukri, nobody. Light hammer, nobody. Light pick, nobody. Longbow, rangers. Long sword, usually nobody, but if you have like some kind of weird tank build, you could use it. Maul, nobody, but that's soon to change. Rapier, yeah, you could use it if you wanted, but a hand axe is better for a bard. Scimitar, rangers, but usually nobody. Short sword, usually nobody. Short bow, nobody. Throwing axe, nobody. Throwing hammer, nobody. Warhammer, nobody. So look at all these items that you have in the game that nobody uses because there are no items for it, or they're just other items that just happen to be better that fit the same slot. Right? So that's what I mean by like the frustration of like item design in this game. Yeah, so as I said, Death Nip is a fringe item, and it's not bad, but would you really use Death Nip, which even has a better critical profile, when you could use other items which are more powerful on a one-hitter as a base damage? AC 27, max X minus 4, insightful PRR 4, insightful fortification 29. It's pretty good. But yeah, so there is a really good heavy pick. But again, the problem with that heavy pick is that even though it is very good, on the critical profile, its base damage is so low it can't keep up with better weapons. Yep, we're all in. Blow it up. So that's the thing. Item design just needs a little bit of work in this game in that regard. Weapon design specifically. Just add more weapons to the pool, you know? Make a battle axe. Like the next time you think, just say, oh, let's make this next item a battle axe. Let's make this nice item a light pick. Something like that, you know? And don't fuck around with the with the critical profiles, because critical profiles are like too much. I want to get a Death Nip. I think it's a cool, really cool looking item. House of Rusted Blades. What are Astral Shards? Like, what is their purpose? Astral Shards are used as a shortcut tool So you can use astral shards to take shortcuts through quests and things. So for example, you can use these astral shards that I have here, 134. You can use them as a shortcut to get 2 quests in adventure areas. The most notable one is Stormhorns. As well, you can use astral shards to repair your shit in quests. So you get 15 astral shards. Boom, all your stuff is maxed out. Astral shards are also used as a trading tool on the Astral Shard Auction House. And astral shards can be used to re-roll chests. Say you're farming out for a specific chest, you can use astral shards. And astral shards re-rolling does not contribute towards ransack. So say you're trying to farm out Strinati's hand cannon in the 3-barrel cove because it's such a good hand cannon. It's an amazing, amazing weapon. Say you want to use that, okay? But you gotta get it. Well, if you loot it 10 times, you'll hit ransack and you can't drop it. But if you loot the chest once and you re-roll it, I think it's 6 times. That 6 times you re-roll doesn't count towards your ransack. So you can re-roll it 6 times, and you can loot it effectively 6 times every time you loot, which is really good because it makes it easier for you to find certain items. I do not have Dimdor.
Your Dimdor right here, punk.
Yeah, so if you want to run down there and do the thing, that'd be good. So that's one other thing you use astral shards for. And the final thing for astral shards is airship stuff. All the airship stuff, like all the good amenities and the big airships, all cost astral shards. So if you want to get a good airship for your guild, you need astral shards. If you want to get astral shards, there are many ways you can get astral shards. One way is to buy them for real world money. Alternatively, you can also play the astral shard auction house to try to acquire them from other players. There are a couple items that you can kind of guarantee you're going to sell on the Astral Shard Auction House. A couple great ones are collectibles. All collectibles are selling right now, especially the new ones. Any collectibles that you get from level 20 quests to level 30, all of those are selling really, really well. On top of that, Caneth Essences selling like crazy. And the last one, Slave Lord materials. You can sell 100 Slave Lord materials for over 100 Astral Shards. So I recommend you give it a shot because it's hot. It's a pretty hot topic right now. If you want to make a lot of Astral Shards, that's the best advice I got. Now, I don't really care. You know, I'm collecting these things, and I can get them. But there are a lot of players who might not be able to get the same things from the Astral Shards. You know, there are people who say, "Oh, it takes too long to farm out Slave Lords. I don't want to farm out Slave Lords. Oh, it takes too long to farm out my Caneth crafting collectibles to make my Caneth crafted items that I want to make." Don't worry about it. Who cares if somebody's got, like, you know, if they can't farm it? Just sell it to them. Make your Astral Shards. If you've got the time and you want to make the investment, and they also want to invest some coinage and spend some of their shards, it can work for you. Then what do you... oh, you can spend shards to bypass timers? Oh, cool. There you go. That's even better. I did not know that. So there's a good use for it. And they're good to look because they lowered the price of Daylighter. Oh, man. I should buff. I'm gonna buff right here. Just do that, they're like, paralyzed. What did I get? Joy of the Queen, energy resistance. Bam. Raid bypass timers, that's even better. So, there you go, team. Look at all those uses. Teblin. So yeah, there's a lot of good things you can use Astral Shards for, and there are a lot of easy ways to get Astral Shards. As I said, just sell the stuff people want. Might sound ridiculous, but people will just spend all of their money. They don't even care. They'll just spend all of their gold on that stuff. Or all their Astral Shards. Cool. House of Broken Chains. Oh, he's going for the chest. He's going for the chest. Gotta defend. Gotta defend, team. I do not abandon my ally. Mr. Bass Fistum, I will defend you. Yeah, you can get them from monster manuals as well. And you can also use them to get gold rolls. I think gold rolls... Oh! 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 Damn it. He was not getting hit by my Otto's Whistler. No, I was talking and I didn't realize that guy was a champion. This is bad. I'm assuming one of my guys can res me those. That's fine. But yeah, you can also get them from monster manuals. You get astral shards from a lot of cool places. You don't have to exclusively buy them. There are a lot of them from the monster manuals. So if you do are a VIP and you have access to all the monster manuals, thank you. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this character. So some of my defensive abilities, like Otto's Whistler, I'm not entirely fully used to. Oh my god, the guy was not moving. Get out of here. Now get my chest. Just spend your shards to oh my god. I'm not gonna spend my shards to res. That would be a bad idea. Do people use the Astral Shard Auction House more than the Action House?
It looks like a bunch of us got this stupid crap.
People use the Astral Shard Auction House probably a bit more. I know the target has to be moving. I was being chased, so. But yeah, people do use the Astral Shard Auction House a little bit more than the regular Auction House, especially for new items. So I'm talking about like the Slave Lords items, stuff like that. Anything Slave Lords or any collectibles, you can make shards on. If you need gold, use the gold auction house for sure. Like, people will use the gold auction house, but all of the people that have been playing the game forever have gold, right? So, like, I have gold. I don't care about gold. Like, I have 2.9 million gold. I don't want to sell stuff on the gold auction house because I don't need to get more gold. But astral shards, I can always use more astral shards. There's nothing wrong with having more astral shards. Especially because you can buy, especially rogue hirelings as well, I forgot, so. Stream like total first level, 100 fear. Stream Tom's melee artificer. Durocan, what a superhero. Giving it the plug that everyone deserves right now. Yeah, so people use the Astral Shard Auction House all the time for things that they don't want to do. Anything tradable that people don't want to collect, Astral Shard Auction House. That's right. If you guys want to be a super good character, play a super good character, I highly recommend, say you want to try Artificer but something new, and you don't want to use the repeating crossbow that I'm using right here because you think repeating crossbows have a horrible sound, and you'd rather take a fork and jam it in your ears to permanently deafen yourself so you don't have to hear that noise. You can do that. How easy would you say it is for a new person to get into DDO? DDO is... That's a difficult question to answer. DDO has one of the highest learning curves of any MMO I've ever played. It has a learning wall. It is a vertical wall that is smooth that you have to scale before you can play DDO. Because look at this. Look at this. And this. And this. And this. And this menu and item screen and all these stats. And the number of stats on here that aren't recorded anywhere, oh my god. Right? So how easy is it for players to get into? I don't know. The thing is, it is a free-to-play game that you can get on Steam. So there are a lot of new players. It's difficult to get really involved in this game, but there are a lot of new players who are doing it all of the time. And that's why I think it's very important that we kind of be mindful of newer players when we play. This is a custom UI, actually. This is the UI Info Blue. Man, look at this. I don't even have to say anything. Durocan is like so on it. Cool. I'm just gonna keep firing down this hallway. That's what I'm gonna do. Have a little Blade Master. Goodbye. But yeah, it's easy to start playing, and it's also pretty easy to get hooked as well. The adventures are really cool. That's one of my favorite parts about DDO is that it actually feels like an adventure in all the different quests that you do. Yeah, it's like I said, it's easy to get into. Finding the right combos that work for you are just like, ugh. Exactly. Durocan has all the answers. You don't have to ask me anything. I don't know anything. It's all Durocan. He has the answers. There we go. That way I can like be less distracted. Yeah, the learning curve is pretty crazy. So, but it is easy to get into it, especially if you want to get a friend into it. By the way, yeah, the free to play. Well, the free to play doesn't suck that much. Like, there's like hundreds of quests that are free to play. You can get pretty far in before you actually have to like make an investment. Like you can get up to level 13. Think of how many goddamn adventures there are all the way up to level 13. Right? Like yeah, you can only get up to level 13, but it still takes you a really long time, especially when you don't know where to go, right? Like first time players don't know where to go when they do quests. They don't know like that they have to go to like Giant Hold or do something else. I'm not saying it isn't bad. I'm a VIP. There's a reason I'm a VIP, because I really like it. I like all the awesome features that I get from not being free to play. But that you have enough time being free to play to determine whether it's something you do want to invest in. There's enough content to figure out, do you want to continue to invest in the game? Also, the DDO wiki is one of the best wikis I've ever seen for any game. The amount of work that gets poured into the DDO wiki is phenomenal, and I'm so glad that it's being done by people that aren't me, because I really appreciate it. Yes. This is... I will say about DDO that there is not... You can't just free-to-play DDO and enjoy it fully. You will probably spend some money in the game at some point. But I'm the kind of person, I don't believe in like free to play. And the reason I say that is because, like, not that you shouldn't like have the option to do free to play if you want to, but it's mostly because if you do spend that much time playing a game, like, spend $5 on it. Like if you say you play DDO for like, I don't know, 3 hours every week, and you enjoy it, and you do that for a year, I don't know, spend $10 and buy an adventure pack, or buy a quest, or buy a class pack. Support the game, man. Teamwork. That's why I'm VIP. I'm on the Players Council, and I get all sorts of cool free shit. But I also still buy turbine points and spend them, because I like supporting the game, my man. It's my favorite goddamn game. I can play this game 200 million hours a day. I literally never need to stop playing this game. It's the only thing I ever need to do. But yeah, the DDO wiki is crazy, is how good it is. But like I said, you are right though, that free-to-play does take forever to farm out the turbine points. I would not try to play this game like absolutely 100% free-to-play. Oh man, pick up some VIP, dude. That's how you get your characters unlocked. I'd be more like helpful other than that, but like, it's the best way to, it's the best way to play the game is to play VIP. Oh, the gold burnished armor, yeah. I don't know. I like the armor that I have right here. This is actually an armor set that I never really looked at before. This is the hero's armor from Wayloon, the hero's breastplate. It's a garbage item, but it looks fairly good. I actually really like it, so. Oh man, that sucks. I'm really sorry to hear that. Paladin in your current life? Oh, since Rasmus is getting killed by something, where is he? He's not in this room. He's not in this room. I just like VIP so that when I make a new character, I can just open directly on Elite. Whoa, what did I just pull out of that chest? Ooh. Cool. Now we're doing through the portal opens. Seeker 11, strength 10, not bad. Gnome paladins, get out of here with your gnomes! Nobody wants to play a gnome paladin. Oh my gosh. Come on, dude. We look at VIP so I can spend $20 to go see a movie that might give me 2 hours of entertainment. Spend $15 or less and have hours upon hours every month. Exactly. It's all about entertainment per dollar. You know? So like books are pretty good. You buy a book for like $8. Okay, you buy a book for $8. And oh, you're Lincoln Logs. Pleased to meet you, man. I'm Strimtom from Galanda and Arganessen. No, I think of it as like dollar value. That's why I like video games a lot. And I don't really buy a lot of new video games. I find it really hard to justify spending $60 on buying like a Call of Duty or something when the campaign is like 6 hours and the online usually sucks. But DDO, it's a game I already like a lot. And spending $15 on it a month, and then maybe spending like $100 a year on turbine points, you know, that's like $200 a year on this game. But then I play this game like probably 30 hours a week. So, Because I do have my character that, like, this character I've reincarnated many, many times. I'm a completionist here. I don't need to be a VIP to open everything on Elite. But I am a VIP, so I can open everything on Elite, which is pretty good. Yeah, man. Like, I don't know how you can, like, make... I don't know how you can make a game that's good enough to be worth, like, $60, like, for the upfront. A game that I bought that was not worth the money at the time, but is worth the money now was Elder Scrolls. I really like that game. I bought that when it first came out. I played it in the beta, bought it the moment it came out, because Elder Scrolls is, like, my favorite game series. And I played it a lot, and I would be playing it now if I had friends that played it. But all my friends play DDO, so I'm going to play DDO instead. That's not true. All my friends play Overwatch, but I'm going to play DDO instead, so that's fine. Menchie from Caneth and a DDO-aholic. Pleased to meet you, Menchie. Yeah, man. As far as I know, most of the exploits are gone, so it's kind of cool. Tyler from Salona and Galanda, and I can't play anymore. But I was a hardcore spellcaster activist. No melees, only spellcasters. Jeez. And then I too am a DDO-aholic. But I'm not going to buy Overwatch. I don't want to spend the money, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I don't understand the point of using an exploit in a video game like this. So, like, there are examples where I can totally understand using cheat codes and things in a video game. A great example is a game like Neverwinter Nights. The original Neverwinter Nights. Man, I love it. Oh my god, Durocan. Oh. What is this? Look at that. Look how godly this dude is setting this up. Oh. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. Holy shit. MVP of the year. You know what, man? That's amazing. That is unreal devotion. But yeah, Neverwinter Nights, like one of my favorite games of all time. Love that game to death. Really dynamic, really cool, great characters, great story. It's a BioWare game, of course, so it's going to have really good story. And I really like that game. And oh god. Whoa, man, no need to be so aggressive. Okay? Some people throw games in the trash that they don't like. They're like, not everybody's going to like the same games, okay? There are a lot of games that I don't like that a lot of people do like, so like it's not that I don't like Overwatch, I just never played it. I'm a big fan of Baldur's Gate as well. Whoa, whoa! What happened here? Why are there so many people? Hey everybody, I have to get into this quest here. No, let me in this quest. I'm gonna keep talking, but oh god, get out of here. No, freedom, free doom. I'm good. But anyway, I really enjoyed Neverwinter Nights. But I always found playing the early parts of the game really boring after a while because I played it too many times. So what I would do is I would have a save past like right after you do everything in like the introductory. I'd have a save there, and then I would use a save editor to edit my character to like change like the race and the character class and everything else like that. So I didn't have to play it again every single time. That was a time where I felt it was perfectly appropriate to use like a cheat code or an exploit. So like there's that. Another game where I find cheating fine is like Grand Theft Auto, because it's really fun when you make cars just fly and you deal with the consequences. I really like that about things like Grand Theft Auto, so I enjoyed that a lot. But in a game like DDO, where the idea of this game, correct me if I'm wrong, we're playing DDO. The idea behind this is to kill monsters, to get items, and those items are better to kill bigger and better monsters, which we can then use to get better items, which we can then, in turn, use to kill bigger and better monsters. Now, if you use an exploit to acquire the materials for the... I don't have any crowd control right now. Damn it. Good, nerve venom. Good. Now, if you use an exploit to have all of the items, what do? Why do you play the game? Because remember, it's not a single-player game. It's an MMO. It's not like you have, like... You know, you're playing like Morrowind or something, and you're trying to create some like goofy scenario using like the editor to make like something goofy in like the town or something. You know, like what do you do in an MMO if you have everything, right? It's like the problem with a real world auction house in a real money auction house in Diablo 3. The big problem is that what do you do when you buy the gear? Well, if you buy the best gear in the game, then why are you playing the game? Because the game is literally a game about killing stuff to get gear. Oh, there are people that did it and have it, but like, to me, it just seems like pointless. Because well, then why would you play the game? So, like, I can definitely understand cheating in like single player games or like very specific games, but like I said, in multiplayer games or games that are all about exclusively just getting better items, I don't get it. How do you make it a non-exploity life? Warlocks are not exploity, dude. There's no exploits in Warlock. Oh god. Warlocks are not exploitative. If you want to make a Warlock life that would be fun and maybe even, I wouldn't say challenging, but you can just play melee Warlock, which is what I did. I don't have improved size shot on. That's why I'm not shooting through guys. Which is what I'm supposed to be doing. Man, my damage has been low. How do you make a Warlock life that's fun? A couple ways you can make a fun and easy Warlock life. Something that doesn't feel like you're like taking advantage of the game. One is to play melee Warlock. Melee Warlock essentially is all about adding your light damage on hit and getting into combat with people. You get a lot of melee power out of the capstone of what would you call it? Out of the capstone of Enlightened Spirits. That can be pretty fun. As well, you can also make a crowd control focus Warlock if you want to play a non-exploitative Warlock. So go with like enchantment focus, pick up like hold monsters, stuff like that. So yeah, there was the exploit with Warlock where if you use Stricken, it would reduce enemies. It's supposed to reduce enemies' spell power and melee power and range power, but it would actually cause them to go to 0, like just cause their damage to go to 0. There were some exploits with Warlock. They're no longer exploitative. Also, they're getting nerfed next patch. So there's that. I honestly don't know about Warlock, what to do, like what the correct answer is. The problem with Warlock is not so much that they're overpowered, because they're not. They're not as good as melee. Melee is still better than Warlock. The problem with Warlock is that they're better than every other caster, which is still not as good as melee. So you can kind of see the gap behind casters behind melee, or even ranged. Ranged can get more burst and sustained damage than casters can, or Warlocks. I love Gouldrul's weapons though. Look at this. He's got 2 flaming something. I don't know what it is, but he looks sick. He's a melee paladin sorcerer. He just looks cool. So yeah. So like I said, there are some problems with the game, but oh yeah, they've nerfed it a bunch. I still like Warlock. I really enjoy playing it. I'm a big fan. I really like the thing I like about Warlock the most is the versatility. I think the fact that Warlocks are capable of pretty much doing almost any type of build, a melee build, ranged build, multiple different types of caster builds, whether you want to be a tanky caster build, anything like that. I think that it's really cool that Warlock kind of gives you all of those different options. Nope. Well, they scale well. They just don't scale well enough. No, don't leave. Senseless, don't leave. Why would you leave? You said you'd never leave. The guy's a melee sorc with 2 levels of paladin. Yes, he is. And he is pretty good. Well, the synth thrives has all the kills, so. Alright, Senseless, thank you for watching. Hope you had a good time. But I say senseless, even though it's supposed to be senseless, I know that. Paladin for the charisma saves. But the problem with Paladin for charisma saves is you only get to add 8, so I don't know what that build is. I think it's Paladin because he wants to play as Bladeforged, as opposed to Warforged. Let's just get this guy pinned in place. Goodbye. Let's go. Oh man, Durakan, you're gonna have like a fan base after that, like the amazing showing of like the one of the best posts I've ever seen. Man, your ability to promote, you really should get a job in PR, man. In fact, you should get a job as my PR man. I'm not gonna pay you though, or give you any more attention than I already do. I'm not really gonna do anything. I don't like doing stuff, so. What do we got? Pleasure of the Queen, 50 physical and magical resistance rating. That's what I'm talking about. 141 PRR. I'm a crossbow guy. Feels good, man. Oh. I don't know what crazy build I'm going to do after this. I know I'm playing, the next build I am going to do will be Monk, Pure Hench and Mystic. I want to see how that works. And if it works out really well, I'm going to play the crap out of that. I also, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I have a build coming out. The end of October? I don't know. Somewhere around the end of October, I will be doing a special build I can't tell you about the build, but I will be doing it here live on the DDO stream when I actually can make it. It is exciting because it's a $40 build. It's a build that costs 40 human dollars to make. You might be thinking to yourself, Strimtom, why would you make a build that costs $40? That makes no sense. Also, how do you have a character that costs money? That makes no sense. Trust me, we're going to make the $40 build later, so... Monk patch is coming next week. If you just want to get the quickie, the monk patch is coming next week, like on Lamania, so you'll be able to test it out and actually see what the changes they're making. They're updating all of the different enhancement trees, as well as updating the monk stances and making hand wraps weapons. So there you go. That'll give you the kind of the quick and dirty on that. So you'll be able to kind of check that out. Yeah, the $40 build. It's going to be a good build. Do you have to use hearts for race, then alignment, and then you have to use the heart. You have to use the heart first to change your first class. And then you have to use an alignment change, and then you have to use a +20 heart or greater. Yeah, it's coming to Lamania this week, and it'll be coming out officially later after that. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, $40 build. I love this. Look at these guys promoting for me. I've got like the best team ever. Holy shit. Buying hearts of wood to get rid of required level. Yeah, but $40 worth? I don't think so, man. You can't spend $40 on one heart of wood. You'll see. You'll see. It'll be exciting. I also don't know how to spend money, so I don't even think I have any money. Yeah, I have a dime. Ooh, 10 cents. That's all the money I have to my name right now. There we go. Goodbye. Hey, Strimtom, have you recruited that child support? That child support check. I haven't received the child support check, but I do take care of our child. Later, Wildcard. Thanks for stopping by. Child support. Oh, you're too funny, man. Alright. Demon web chain. Starting with, what the hell is that quest called? It's in Lord Gruelmyth's domain. Oh, I'm so bad at this. I don't remember what the first one is. But no, I have received that child support check for our wonderful, wonderful child. I don't know which one of us gave birth to it, but somebody did. Fury? Yeah, Fury? Is that what it's called? Fury Trial? Trial by Fury? Trial by Fury. Trial by Fury. Yes, that's the one. Good. Trial by Fury first. Gotta inform the team so they'll know. I'm just bad at remembering names quests sometimes. I'm pretty good at remembering most stuff about this game, but sometimes names I get really confused about. I'm really bad at remembering names, especially in like movies and TV shows. Oh my god, I'm the worst. I'll go see a movie, and then I'll like with my friends, and we'll talk about it afterwards, and I'll be like, you're like the main character guy, right? And then the other guy, and then there's that police officer, that woman, and they'll be like, don't you remember the character names? I'm like, no, I don't. Shut up. Okay. Combat archery. So I'm going to take this feat. 2% dodge bonus while using ranged weapon, +1 W. Boom. So that's obvious answer. So just gives me +1 W. So now my weapon damage is going to be even higher than before. Doesn't affect the base damage on the weapon though. It's weird. But it's 3.8 there, so that's good. But you know how to say Shindrlin. That's right. I could say Shindrlin. I know how to say Shindrlin. Look, I may not be able to remember all of the names of every single quest in the game, but I can see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, okay? You can't catch me on that shit. Whoa, hey, I had a quest reward from this guy that I didn't take. Ooh, Slaver's hand crossbow. 2 times a D8, so it's a D8, so it's garbage. Bleeding, so it's garbage. Poison, so it's garbage. Let's get rid of all this garbage. Summoning necklace? Feigned gloves? Yeah, whatever. His name was Commissioner Gordon. Oh, God. The female cop was Commissioner Gordon. Oh man, the woman. Trial by Fury is the most important one. Trial by Fury, Reclaiming the Rift, and The Deal and the Demon. We're going to be doing this one the long way, long form, because it's always better to go long form. I find you get a little bit more XP. Where did you get the name Stramtam? So I came up. So first it's it's a long story. Actually, it's a good story. I don't know if I've ever told this one to the stream. So Strimtom is the name that I use here on stream. Disappointingly, it's not my name in real life, but that's fine. But this actually goes way back. This is actually a few years old. This is a pretty old story. Back when I was in university still, getting my education, I went out with some friends. We went to a couple bars, had some drinks, had some good times. Went back to this girl's house, and we were all hanging out. It was great. Dimension went back to the girl's house. Yeah, it was great. Went back to the girl's house. We're hanging out. We played Pictionary, I think. Oh shit! I hit the wrong button. I went to Eberron. Oopsie. Anyway, played Pictionary. I did not mean to come here, but I did anyway by accident. And while we were playing, there was all this different stuff that happened. You know, drawing pictures and stuff, and lots of dicks that were being drawn. Because there's always going to be lots of dicks. So what ended up happening is, at some point, I don't remember anything that happened, okay? Pictures go up on Facebook, and there's pictures of all the drawings that we drew. And there was a picture of, like, 8 camels. Now, I don't remember what the purpose of the camels was for. But anyway, there's a picture of, like, 8 camels that somebody had drawn very poorly. I think it probably could have been me. So I'm looking at this picture on Facebook, very hungover, the next day. And I'm sitting next to one of my friends. And I'm like, I'm just going to tag all these camels as different people. So I started tagging the camels, but then I realized I'm just going to make up names for the camels. And I was like, I don't know, like Flim Flam or like Steve or something. And then one of the names I was like, I don't know, Strim Tom. I just typed that in. My friend who's sitting next to me on the couch just playing, oh god, what was he playing? He was playing like, I think he was playing like Mag at the time. Amazing game that does not exist anymore, Mag, on the PlayStation original, or on the PlayStation 3. Unbelievable game. Just turns to me, drops the controller, and just goes, oh my god, what did you just say? And I'm like, Strim Tom? And he's like, Strim Tom? And I'm like, yeah, Strim Tom. And he's like, that's the best fucking name I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, is it? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you have to put that as your name on Facebook. So I did. I changed it since then, but I had it for a time. And yeah, and then I started using that name all over the place. And that's how that happened. If you're looking for the spot that you have to teleport to, it's where Stramtam is. And then I made my character named Strimtom in all the video games I played, and everything I did has been Strimtom, which is pretty great. And then when I have characters that are not male or Strimtom is already taken, I use Stramtam. Yeah, so if you're jumping, you have to teleport to me to get into the quest. That's how it came about. Hey, look at that. Yeah, so it's an interesting name. I actually do have a character called Strimtom on this server, but the problem with Strimtom is stuck in what I like to know as the Wizard Wasteland, because he's on a wizard life. Because your name is Tom and you stream? No, because then it'd be Stream Tom. Dude, if my name was Tom, I would be Stream Tom. Come on. I thought you're supposed to be my PR manager, and you're gonna give me like... You wouldn't think I'd be Stream Tom? Ugh. Stream Tom would be so much better if my name was Tom and I was streaming. Yeah. It was mostly just alcohol laden. Actually, I'm pretty sure I was drunk the next day while coming up with these names anyway. Anyway, yeah, I actually do have a character named Strimtom on this server. Strimtom is my Caneth Crafter. He was the first character that I had on the server. I used to play on Kyber before I moved over, and Kyber has my 10-year-old characters. But yeah, so I had that character, and interesting character. Yeah, I got stuck on a wizard life. You see, I did my first life as a Arcanotech Artificer, and I fucking loved it. I'll tell you one thing I did enjoy: Arcanotech Artificer. Arcanotech is like one of the best character classes in the entire goddamn game. Arcanotech is so good. If you get the opportunity to play an Artificer and play as an Arcanotech, do it, man. Play Arcanotech. It's ton of fun. I really, really liked Arcanotech, and I think you will as well, especially since the buffs that came through. Because this, you have to understand, this is a year ago when I was playing this character. This is before the Arcanotech buffs. I'll let Bash Fistum solve the puzzle. He's pretty good at that. I love Arcanotech. Highly recommend it. Anyway, playing an Arcanotech. Then I did my next life as a Warforged Favorite Soul. I really, really enjoyed that as well. Warforged Favorite Soul is great because it gives you like really strong melee potential, which is kind of strange, I guess, to have like that the melee potential is so good with a Warforged Favorite Soul because you get all the enhancements towards your greatsword as a two-handed weapon. You also get really tanky. You can heal yourself extremely consistently because you don't use your mana for any damage, so you can heal yourself and your allies. Great build. And I decided, you know what? Wizard Past Life is needed for a lot of really good caster builds. So I'm going to get Wizard Past Life out of the way. Whoa! Whoa! You go, Loth. Oh, God, what's happening? So I decided I would get that out of the way right away, which seemed like a good idea. But then I started to play Wizard, and I thought, I know, I'll just do like a Pale Master Wizard. And then I have not played that character since because Wizard lives, man. Like, I hate Wizard. It's the worst class ever. Now, it's actually a little bit better since they came up, they revamped Archmage, but Wizard was my least favorite class in the game by far. And so Strimtom, unfortunately, is dead in his Wizard life and will never move on. Rest in peace, Strimtom. No, I'm just doing everything. Man, I don't know how Bash Fistum does it. He's got the secret. Yeah, man. I have two characters stuck in Wizard life as well. I had another character that was a that's a warlock, or that was a warlock when the warlocks first came out that I was using to test it out, and that's stuck in a Wizard life. Why don't you just use Heart to change classes? Because, I don't know, I feel like, just, again, that's like cheating. Like, if I want the past life, I'm going to play as the class. So this character has Completionist. I did it. What's happening here? I'm, like, not good at this. Whoa! Look at that. It's puzzle solved. Look at that, man. I love watching that happen. Because, I don't know, I feel like using a heart is cheating. I don't do that. I also don't do crap where, like, I play as, like, you know, 11 levels wizard, 9 warlock, and then get it as a wizard life. Because, again, it's like cheating, you know? It's like, if I'm playing a wizard life, I'm going to experience wizard. Part of it as well, I kind of bring it upon myself. I almost always play, like, the worst classes. And playing the worst classes is just bad. Like, bad for your mental state. So, like, for example, when I played Monk, I did the Henshin Mystic build. Punch Monk was actually good. Fist Monk is good. You know, Ninja Spy Monk is good. But I was like, nah. Dual-wielding Flame Blade Henshin Mystic Monk. You know, I had the option to play Cleric. Melee Cleric's actually pretty good. Multi-class with some fighter levels, you know, do some extra damage. Not that bad. You know, I had the option to play these different classes. But, I don't know. I just decided I'm going to play as a negative energy Cleric. You know? Oh, what was I doing? Artificer life? Cool, I'm going to play as a melee Artificer. I always just choose to do the thing that people aren't doing because somebody needs to know. We already skipped one, so it doesn't matter. We can't get them all. It's sort of. It's a creative use of game mechanics. Okay? Creative use of game mechanics is what I like to think about it. Because if this build makes me more powerful than any other character in the game, then maybe it's an exploit. But if I'm still not able to keep up with, like, rogue DPS, then I don't really care. I just think it's cool. I don't want to experiment with the possibilities. Also, there's nothing that says it's not supposed to work. It just works anyway. Deep Gnome Bard right now, and I just can't find the will to play It's 20. Are you doing, like, a full illusionist focus kind of Bard thing? Or what? Like, yeah, Arcane Arrow Exploit is I agree with you. It is kind of like, it's kind of like cheating. Like I said, I think of it as more creative use of game mechanics because I don't want to admit that I would do anything wrong, but also I want to see the possibility. If this gets patched out, I'm also not going to be upset about that, right? It's in the game. That's kind of like the way that I like to think about it, is that it's in the game. If something's designed this way, then this is the way I'm going to use it. Spellslinger to try and get through it. Oh, man. I love Spellslinger Bards. Love me some Spellslinger Bard. Spellslinger Bard's like probably my favorite class in the game. In fact, I'm going to say definitely my favorite class in the game is Spellslinger Bard. I love Spellslinger Bard. Spellslinger Bard gives you access to really good songs to help out your allies and your teammates. Spellslinger Bard gives you... What did I get? 100 physical resistance rating. Whoa! 193. Come at me, spiders. Oh my god. Are they going to come at me? Yeah, they are. 36 damage. What are you going to do? I need to get egg. I need to. Oh no! Oh, I forgot about crowd control effects. Oh, that's what they're gonna do. I was like, what are you gonna do? They're gonna crowd control me. That's what they're gonna do. Go, Synthresma. Go, man. Go. Fight them all. Use your two-handed sword. Ah, good times. Good talk. Good talk, everybody. So that was the Strimstream.
Guardian of strength, mount you. The north path is clear.
You didn't see that. It didn't happen. I don't know. You gotta, take everything in stride, right? Sometimes you just die. Dying is not the end. It is in real life. So don't murder me, please. So if you do know my address, don't come to my house and kill me. But it's like, in DDO, dying is not the end. So I can die and come back. I can bounce back. Look at all these kills that I have. I have 8. I have 8 total kills. Look at that. I'm really helping out my team. Death is not the end. Where the hell am I going? I'm so confused. Oh, I went the wrong way. Oh, food time. I hear you, man. I am so ready for food time. But food time comes at the end of stream time. So I have to finish stream time first. I'm streaming for you guys instead of eating. I skipped dinner today so I'd be ready. Oh, by the way, I will be posting this. Nobody probably cares. But I'm going to be posting a picture on my Twitter afterwards. I carved a DDO pumpkin. So if you like DDO and you like pumpkins, I'm going to post a DDO pumpkin that I carved. And before you go say, like, but Stream Tom, why'd you carve a pumpkin? It's like, it's not even close to Halloween. Shut up, okay? I can do whatever I want. I'm an adult. I can carve pumpkins any time of the year I like. So, there you go. That's right. I just get defensive about something nobody commented on. But yeah, I'm going to be posting a cool pumpkin, DDO-based pumpkin picture out. Unfortunately, my Halloween costume this year is not DDO related. I don't know how you have a DDO costume, unless you go as like a Warforged. Ooh, that'd be really cool. Could you imagine going as a Warforged for Halloween? Man, that'd be sick. No, my costume this year is actually I'm going as Waluigi. Waluigi for Halloween. I have a costume all set up, which I will take pictures of and post on my Twitter. And probably Instagram. It's just a pause while you wait. Well, when you have other players that are really good, they'll do that for you. Do you think PvP in DDO is dead? That depends. I think that PvP supported by Turbine Entertainment is dead. So, to answer your question, I think that DDO supported by Turbine is dead. Okay? I don't think that the company Turbine Entertainment, or games, or whatever, technologies, systems, I don't think that that company will ever add a patch or a change to the game that will involve player versus player content in any capacity. It will never, ever happen. Okay? So, I will start by saying that. However, I do not think that the possibility of player versus player action is dead in DDO. To make player versus player tolerable, we need to take the same approach as players that Path of Exile players did to their PvP. When the PvP sucked, the players came up with a system in that game, and I think we could do something similar, which is set our own rules for our own PvP. What's the next one? Deal and the Demon. Okay. We need to make PvP work as players, okay? Limiting our own systems will make PvP a little bit more workable within the current system. So I'll give you an example of where it starts to break down. The problem with PvP is that if you want to have it even remotely competitive, you have to find a way to cancel out oh, wrong way. You have to find a way to kind of eliminate the difference between multiple past lives. You can't do that, and I think it would be a lot of background system work to cut out past lives. Like, say, like, oh, while you're in PvP, your past lives turn off, especially considering past lives have a big effect on people's characters, and affect your DCs, things like that. So, I don't think that there would be a turbine-focused way to do that. However, as players, we can set some rules, and I already have some rules as to how a PvP system would work, so I'll kind of like detail this out right now, kind of mentally how I would like to do it. If I have more time in the future, I would actually like to start a PvP league, so like where people get teams and do PvP. I'm talking about the stuff like the, you know, the capture the flag and stuff like that type of PvP. So how would that work? Number one, you have to limit the power level of the players. A lot of the players are really too strong at level 30. Like, when you're level 30, you have so many stats. You have so many stats you can't even comprehend all the amount of stats that you have. So instead, let's make it so that you do, you're only level 12. Why level 12? Well, it gives you access to some cores, it gives you access to the top row of one of your trees, you know, and it limits the powerful level of weapons that you have. So that could work. Level 12. Cap it out. That way you don't have super broken spells. You know, you don't have Wail of the Banshee for your death attacks. You don't have Meteor Swarm, things like that. You don't have to deal with any of the epic garbage, no Dire Charge, nothing like that. After making it maximum level 12, has to be first life only. So you get rid of anything to do with past lives. You just get that out the window. Everyone's on an even playing field. Sure, that would involve people having to make new characters, but leveling to level 12 is not that much of a chore, and it would make the PvP much more balanced in that aspect. Third, take out named items. No named items whatsoever. Put it only as loot-generated items, random loot gen, or Caneth crafted. By doing this, it means you can have very specific characters, but obscure effects that you wouldn't normally expect, say something like a Sirocco knockdown or something like that, you wouldn't have something like that coming out. Or any items that were new and rebalanced, such as like the new Slave Lord's gear. The Slave Lord's heroic gear is amazingly strong and ridiculously overpowered for the lower levels. So, in an effort to curb those items from appearing and kind of stomping over people, you set it as loot gen and Caneth crafted gear only. UMD to try to invoke it? Sure. Hey, I did it! I have UMD. Nice. Go fighters. And then final solution, ban Warlocks. You just gotta ban Warlock. And with all of those changes to PvP, I think you could actually set up people with teams where you have to go out, you have to make your character, you have to set up, you have to go get your gear, get it ready, and then you have maybe 5-on-5 or 6-on-6 capture the flag games, things like that. You won't have people, because there's no named items, people will have to cast buffs if they want certain effects. So say you want to have, I don't know, say you want to use like a crowd control spell like Solid Fog. Well, if everybody has freedom of movement because they all have the Kundurek Delving Boots, that becomes a problem because that ability is now basically useless. However, if there's no named items, there's no Kundurek Delving Boots, which means people don't have freedom of movement. So if you want to have freedom of movement on your team, you have to have somebody like a ranger or a cleric. In fact, not even a ranger. Ranger couldn't do it. You'd have to have a cleric or a bard be on your team and then cast it on the people that matter. Say like the barbarian with the movement speed, you can go get the flag. Stuff like that. So it creates this interesting dynamic of how you would do it. And then PvP could actually be pretty cool. The problem is there's no system for PvP. Like, there's no matchmaking or anything like that in the actual PvP system, which is, like, problematic for finding people to play with. And then it also requires a lot of effort to actually get into, even still, to start. It would probably have to be ship buffs. In fact, if you really wanted to, you could do a PvP guild where you'd have no ship buffs. That could actually work as well. So you'd have like a guild that would be specifically PvP. That way people would have an easier time finding each other for doing games. That could work. I feel like ship buffs would also be a little bit too overpowered. So you'd want to get rid of that, but it distracts all effects from items. Like I said, I have no issues with Turbine putting in the legwork. I just feel like that is a eventuality that's not going to happen. So as a result, if we, as the players, do want PvP, we can actually make it happen. I've seen it in other games, where the players just say, we're going to create our own system that works within the framework. So this is something I would like to do at some point. Right now, I don't really have the time to do it because I'm working too many hours, and I'm trying to stream, produce other content like the guides, and spend time with my friends, and I'm desperately trying to get a girlfriend. So, because I'm really, really desperate and lonely. It's just so desperate and so lonely. So, yeah.
The doors to me, says Yimers.
PvP channels like quest instances from level range. The problem is that even PvP with epics is really, really, really broken. Because there's a spell that exists called Ruin. So Ruin is a spell that deals untyped damage, so it beats all different forms of spell resistance and magic, and the base damage is 1,000. So you can cast Ruin for over 12,000 damage with almost no items, and anybody can take Ruin. So at level 30, every single PvP player just uses Ruin, and whoever gets the first Ruin off wins the entire match. And that's not fun, and that's not a good idea. Right? Because you could anybody can use Ruin or Greater Ruin and instantly kill any other player. So for epics, it just straight doesn't work. That's why I'm saying. So first life, no stat tomes. Right, but there are a lot of abilities. So like warlocks have effects that track targets on ranged, like and they also do evil damage, which you can't resist. And also DCs that get too high. Like it's pretty easy to get stun DCs on abilities like Dire Charge up over 100. Bearlock is even better. Highly recommend Bearlock. So like I said, I think the solution is to kind of make it as a level 12 arena system. Because you'll still see creative builds coming out and people kind of good solutions. Hurl through hell as well. Well, all death attacks are going to be blocked by death block. I don't think there would be a single player at level 30 who would not have a death block item, considering everybody would be using celestial gear. Again, this is assuming it becomes even remotely competitive. If you're just doing it for fun with your friends, just get some friends and do PvP. I don't think that'll ever be a problem. Reclaiming the Rift is next. So I don't think that would actually be a problem in any capacity. To do like worrying about instant death attacks, because instant death attacks wouldn't be a problem. People would just be immune to them. Now if there's actually it's hard to gauge. I don't know if there is an active interest in PvP in DDO. It's something that I'm interested in. I remember doing PvP in DDO back in the day. I'm talking about like the old Capture the Flag. I remember when that first came out, I had a sorcerer. Are we here? Yeah, we are here. I had a sorcerer, and my job was to guard the flag. So all I did was Solid Fog, Web, Dancing Ball, and then when people actually tried to get away, targeted hold person, and then also single target spells on them. And that was my job. I was the flag guarder, and I really loved it. And it felt super cool to be in the Quickfoot arena. There's the air jets to go through an air jet, get launched through the air with featherfall, and then as I'm featherfalling onto the platform where I'm supposed to land to get the flag, throwing down a dancing ball onto the platform, right? So that way, before I even land, the dancing ball's already going, so whoever's trying to pick up the flag, just all of a sudden, boom, they can't move, can't do anything. So I love PvP, and I have a lot of very, very fond memories. Especially that we had like a cleric who would hide in the spawn zone, and it was the cleric's job to quickly throw Death Ward onto the people so they wouldn't get one shot before death block items were as common as they are now. Right? So I have a lot of very fond memories of PvP, and I would be very much in favor of PvP coming back. So please don't think I don't want PvP to come back. Given how much time I've spent talking about this subject and thinking about this subject, this is also not the first time I brought this up. I would love to see PvP make a return. But yeah, man, flag guarding. That's true, if it was disjunction. Yes, PvP also would need to have a reward. A lot of people don't like doing stuff when there's no reward, and PvP has no reward other than the satisfaction of PvP. There is no leaderboard system, which would have to be in place. There would have to be a leaderboard system put in some kind, whether it's in-game or players keep track of it themselves. And again, that only attracts very die-hard players. And there's no way to learn how to PvP. Monsters don't PvP. Monsters suck. They just stand there and get killed by you. But players, they jump, they shoot, they run. They do all sorts of stupid garbage. And they act in ways you wouldn't expect them to. So, Jumping the lobster PvP arena. Yeah, the lobster PvP arena, like the Brawl League, that's most people's experience with PvP. Obviously, it's not the best way to experience PvP. So, like I said, there are some solutions. I do want to condense my thoughts at some point into like a big long forum post and try to get like a tournament going, or even if not a tournament, at least like a PvP group, like maybe like 10 or 12 people that you can kind of like swap up teams, sort of like a game of like pickup hockey or like a game of pickup football or something at like a park, where you have like 10 guys and then you just kind of, you know, all swap about and perform whatever role or play on whatever team. You know, shirts versus skins or whatever. Same concept. If that would work as like a starting point. I think it'd be pretty cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? What are your guys' ideas for PvP? How would you see it like get brought back? And the bigger question, would you be willing, and this is also the most important thing, because I know people want things like PvP and stuff like that. Would you be willing to have advances and changes to PvP, so like ways for PvP to actually become viable and a competitive game mode, and changes to be made at the loss of potentially quests? So we have a patch or 2 patches in a row that have no quests in them for PvP changes. Is that something that people would be in favor of? Because I know people want PvP changes, but remember, there aren't that many systems designers that actually work at Turbine. You know, you've got like Steelstar, who does a fantastic job, really smart guy, really hardworking. But there's only one of him, so we have to use his time wisely. That I actually find surprising, the number of people that are just saying yes right away about the PvP thing. Because I would actually like to see that if Turbine made us change the system. Polar Ray Sorcerer when people get in. See, there we go. We already got the differing of opinion, right? Some people want PvP and some people don't. And that's actually kind of fine, because PvP is one of those things that can be, in many aspects, very, very frustrating. I like that I have the most skills. PvP can be very, very frustrating, right? Some people find it fun, like me. Seeing people with cool builds and ways that they interact with you, it's one of the reasons why I always liked, you know, I really enjoyed Path of Exile, PvP, things like that. But, again, you have the problem, not everybody wants PvP, right? There's a completely optional aspect. Hey man, I would love to be an intern at Turbine. The problem is, I don't have any technical coding skills in any capacity. So that would be bad for me. Focused on nothing else, if it was balanced. That's a huge problem right there, though. Is it balanced? Oh man. I love the Turbine guys. They're fantastic, wonderful people. They work super hard. They're really devoted, and they're all, like, great people. Balance is not their specialty. So I don't know about that. The other problem is, when you think about like a balance aspect, when you look at like other games, so you'll see like a competitive game, I don't know, let's take the biggest one, like League of Legends or like Hearthstone or something. The people that make that game will reach out to some of the best players and say, hey, how do we make this thing that's competitive balanced? How do we make multiple people be able to play at the same time and it's also fun? You know? They'll do that, and it makes sense because it's worth their money and their time to do that. Yeah, they're experienced PvP players that can kind of give references for Turbine as to how to make changes or ideas as to what to do. We don't quite have that. There isn't like a big community around PvP as far as I know. There are people that want it, absolutely. But then where do you get the ideas? How do you know what's broken other than what's obvious? Then the non-obvious things comes out and it requires several balance patches, right? Oh man, I can't even shoot this guy. Like with anything else, if something is imbalanced, it would take more than one patch to make it fully balanced, right? Because we're not just saying, oh, we'll just make a patch and have it balanced. Every time we add a new feature, a new class ability, you know, or a new class in general, boom, now you have an imbalance again. How do you reconcile that? There is on Argo, eh? Is it a guild or a group? I'd be very, very interested. If you can tell me if there's like a guild or a specific group of players, I'd be very down with getting more, getting to know some of those PvPers more. Because remember, I don't think DDO intrinsically needs PvP, simply because it's not a PvP game. Oh, cool. I did not know that. Are considered the worst people, but they PvP. Well, that makes sense. The PvPers being the worst people on the server. So yeah, I think, like I said, I'd be excited to see some PvP changes in the future, to see if things can be like brought and be cooler and brought up to standard. I would love to see that, but I don't know if it's actually going to happen. It is good to see that there's actually such a like a want for that, you know. People from being the lobster viper. Yeah, the forums are difficult, and especially like game metrics are difficult, right? Because, and this is where metrics come into play a lot. Cool, we're gonna do the dragon one, the last one. Don't drink the water. Cool. But no, that's actually another great example of like metrics being not great. So I'll give you an example from real life. So I used to work at a grocery store, okay? And when I worked at this grocery store, we have metrics. We know how much people are buying. So if I say I stock so much Coke, and I sell, you know, 10 bottles of Coke on average each week, then I know, okay, I need to have at least 10 bottles. So I stock 15 bottles, right? But then I stock these 15 bottles of Coke, and I have these 15 bottles of Coke. All of a sudden, my demand goes up, and I sell all 15 one week. Okay, sounds good. And I order my 15 again. And then I sell all 15 each week. The problem is, I don't know how much more that is. Because I sold 15. Did people want to buy 20? Would people have bought 30 if I had it in stock? Or would I just suddenly have 30 bottles of Coke on hand that I don't need because it's too much stock? It's a problem of not knowing a metric because there's not a finite value, right? It's like I don't know what the actual demand was. I only know that the demand was at least 15. And that translates into things like DDO. There are people on the forums that are loud and they go, "Oh, we want this change and we want PvP, yeah." But the problem is, those people aren't the majority of players. They're the people that are the loudest on the forums. In fact, they're a minority because they're the number of people that would go to the DDO forums and then also make a post about it. The majority of DDO players don't post on the forums. The majority of players play the game because they find it on Steam, or they had a friend recommend it, or they see it on like a magazine, like one of the internet magazines, and they try playing it for the first time, and they just log in and they play it, and they never even think to look at any of the websites that are associated with the game. They don't even look at the wiki. They just play casually on the weekends, and maybe they play with a friend sometimes, right? Those people aren't the people that are posting on the forums. So you can't measure how much those people would like PvP, because they're not the ones that are being loud about it. So it's really hard to get a metric for how many people would actually want PvP in the game. So it's really easy for me to say, I want PvP, and I think it's a priority. But Turbine can't even grab metrics on PvP, because there's probably almost nobody playing PvP. So they can say, okay, well, if nobody's using the PvP tools that are in the game, how can we say that improving the PvP tools will make people want to PvP more, right? Nobody is, you know, imagine I only have one bottle of Coke in stock and it gets sold every week. Okay, well, I only have one bottle. If I bring in 10 bottles, I can't guarantee that I'm going to sell it, but I already spent all the money. Yeah, if there was an in-game vote, that could work. Because the problem is, even if unless you post something in-game, but a lot of times, what if there was a vote that came up on screen and you just clicked it away? You're like, oh, I don't want this, and you just click it away. You don't read it. Happens all the time. Adding up a little warning or something, people totally ignore those. But I agree with you, because what ended up happening is, especially with if they can see it, I ended up working doing like a survey thing, and the idea is that the store that I was working for had an online survey. So at the bottom of the receipt, you could do a little survey, and it would take you to a website, and you could answer some questions about the store. But the problem is nobody wanted to do the little survey, so it was really hard to actually get information from people. But what I would do is I would say, hey, do the survey, and they would say no, and I'd be like, okay, well, how about instead of doing the survey, tell me something that you would like to change about the store. And so I took like a tally, a physical tally, and also a survey. Now, of course, the survey didn't actually matter. The person that was doing it at the time, my manager, didn't give a fuck about the actual customers. They needed surveys to get filled out for their metrics so they could get a bigger bonus. But I actually cared about some of these customers, so I actually paid attention, and I talked to people, and they said, hey, this one product that you guys sell, you only have ever like 5 in stock, and it's always empty. I want more of it. And I had like several people parrot the same sentence saying, hey, this one product that you guys actually sell, it's never in stock, and I actually like it. Why can't I buy it? You know? And I was like, I don't know why you can't buy it. And then I talked to the guy that was managing the department. I was like, hey, people actually want this product. Is there a reason we don't stock it? And he goes, oh, I didn't know people wanted it. We only ever have 5, and we always sell it. So we just never ordered more because it wasn't important. If they order 5, they will order 5. If they order more, will they sell more than 5, you know? How can you tell? There you go. Iron Hands. Played for 8 years, never posted on the forums. To get more people interested, there has to be more incentive. If there's no incentive, you know, you get free cookies, and you can cash them all at once. You get like 20 cookies. Yeah, exactly. You can get as many free cookies as you want. Although there is a expiry date on the Subway cookies. It's like 2 weeks or something to actually cash in your cookie. So if you go to Subway 20 times in 2 weeks, then yeah, you can get a bunch of free fucking cookies. but yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, people ignore a lot of pop-ups. A lot of people don't post on the forums. I've played this game for 10 years. I played in the beta. I love this game to death. I talk about this game. I stream this fucking game, okay? I stream this game because I love it. I write guides for it. I'm on the Players Council. And in 10 years, I have 100 posts on the forums. You know? I don't use the forums that often. That's just the way things are. It's not that I hate the forums. That's just the way it happens. Now, there's a reason I don't post on the forums, and that's because in large part the general forums are like a big waste of time, because the people in there are like really, really, really angry, and I don't need that kind of anger and frustration in my life, so I don't post on those forums. But I like Reddit though. I use Reddit all the time. The DDO subreddits, I like that, mostly because it's organized better. If there's a way, like, I just don't like the way the DDO forum is organized. I grew out of forums. Because I'm not, like, Reddit's not my favorite website, but I do like the organization of it. The fact that you can see kind of every single post, and you can have things like broken down into little subgroups that if you want to pay attention to, you can. Whereas I find the DDO forums, there's just a big wall of different sub-forums that you have to pick from before you can see all the posts. There isn't like a thing that says like, oh, popular posts that are going on right now, where you can like see cool posts that are happening. Which is something I would like to see. Played for 3 years. Exactly, man. Well, that's because DDO has like the steepest learning curve of any game on planet Earth. Actually, it's not true. I think Dwarf Fortress has a steeper learning curve. I take back my statement. Dwarf Fortress. Look at the kills. 33 kills. I'm king of the kills, and I'm the fucking level 21 guy. This build is awesome. I highly recommend this stupid-ass build. This Fighter Ranger Warlock build. If you want to play it, here's your enhancement tree. Just pause the video here, and then bam, you can get that cool build. I think I need to give Turtloid jump. Oh, I don't have jump. Never mind. I can't give Turtloid jump. Later, buddy. Fuck, I want dinner so bad. I want dinner. Dinner. We'll get it. This build, but with Artie instead of Fighter. The thing about Fighter is it gives you access to Kensei, which gives you this, Power Surge. And I really like Power Surge. If you have Artie, though, you get traps. You still get adamantine plating, which is kind of nice. Because you get it as a free Artie feat. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the best build is to go with this. I just like this build. It's working out pretty well. Like I said, there is the frustrating part. I don't like the fact that I can't do traps. Get some wives? No. No, I don't need a wife to bring me dinner. I need like I could go with McDonald's bringing me delivery. There's a Subway up the street actually. If they did delivery, I would never leave my house except to go to work and do other things. Artie instead of Warlock? But then you lose on, I don't know. I like Warlock. Gives me a lot of stuff. Warlock gives me access to the shield spell. Warlock gives me the damage on hit. Warlock also gives me a lot of tankiness from the aura, and Warlock gives me fear immunity. How long will your late night stream be? I don't know. After I'm done this, I'll probably stream for a couple hours at least. Probably till at least midnight. Till at least midnight. Why not? I don't really want a wife to bring me dinner. I want a girlfriend. I don't want to get married. Fuck that. I'm too young to get married, dude. Are you kidding? If I got married, I'd have like responsibilities and commitments and things, but if I have a girlfriend, I can just bounce whenever, so that works better for me. Commitment free Strim Tom.
The great beast looks at you and speaks.
The little ones promised wealth for this, but they said nothing for sending meals. I graciously...
I also like this. I am using the Inferno shot out of Arcane Archer, and Inferno shot fires 3 times. Yep, I really don't want to pull aggro on this dragon though. So I'm very easily to stack this guy up to 16 or 20 stacks. And then every time I use Inferno shot, it applies the damage 3 times. So he's taking extra with 20 stacks. I think it's 80 damage a stack. He's burning. Said wives, not wife. Oh, many wives. There we go. So kills like to see damage dealt. I agree with you, man. Something I've been badgering the Turbine devs about, and I hope they do it at some point. All they have to do is make the combat log save to a text file anywhere in the computer. Just make the combat log save to a text file. If the combat log saves to a text file, all of a sudden, all the DPS questions are gone. Who does the most damage? I can tell you. It's in the combat log. This is my damage that I recorded. It's in the combat log. Because it's in the combat log. And if it's in the combat log, I can record that text. I can record that in a text file. I can have a program parse it. It can tell me how much I did per second. It can tell me what the highest hit I did. It can do anything. But it has to record to a combat log. If I have a text file on my computer, I can parse anything. And if they actually make it so that DDO can record the combat log to a text file, I will fucking learn to code and I will write a program myself. And I will make a parsing program. I would love a parsing program. That's it. So if that change was made, that would be amazing. But that change has not been made, so that's not going to happen right now. Exactly. Anyone can steal a kill. Now my kills here, I'm at 37, so I do a lot. I do a good amount of damage, but yeah, things might not be logged, but guess what? If things aren't logged correctly, we can find that out by using a parsing thing, a tool. I can go through all of the combat log and figure out what's not there. Actually, that's the last one for me, so I'm gonna get dinner. Because it's dinner time. It's not. It's actually 10 o'clock, but that's not fine. That's fine. Thank you, team. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get dinner. It's dinner time. So I hope you had a fantastic time. If you want to get more Strim Tom, you actually can get more Strim Tom. I'm going to have a link for you right here. Bam. Twitch.tv/StrimTom. Boom, you can go to this link right here. You can follow StrimTom. You can also follow me on Twitter if you really feel like it, if you're so inclined. As well, I put out a new guide today for Melee Artificer. Boom! There it is, guide for Melee Artificer. It'll be super cool. And if you want to try Artificer in a different way without the repeating crossbow, go ahead and give it a read. It might give you some ideas for builds in the future. But anyways, yeah, I'm glad everyone got to tune in today. I had an awesome time. Also, follow here the DDO stream. I stream every single Monday from 7 until 10 o'clock every time. The only time I think I might not stream will be Halloween, because Halloween is... I'm hosting a party. And that's the 31st, which is a Monday, so maybe I won't stream on Halloween, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. I will be doing an after stream as well. So if you get bored, follow me there. I'm going to stream later. I got to get dinner, though. So I'm going to get dinner, and then I'm going to stream probably till about midnight. So... be at hiatus for like 10 to 15 to 20 minutes or so. Cool. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Bye, stream. Bye, stream. Bye.